So much writing on the result of this match. G2 needing a bounce back. MIBR looking to go on this lower bracket run. We're going to be kicking things off on Bind. G2 even have ideas to maybe get a little aggressive outside of Hookah, while MIBR setting up over A with a very aggressive wall, cutting down straight to the middle of the site. It's a quick teleport forward. SRN to find the first kill, and the site belongs to MIBR.
Yeah, Amy completely caught off guard there, and now this is troubling for G2. Their round rests on a triple flank, but it is being policed by Lisa.
Lisa here. Oh, nice shot! She's insane! Petra just ignores her completely, doesn't want anything to do with her, while G2 get completely eviscerated by her.
Petra thinking if you don't look at Lisa, she's not a problem. Not quite true. Cuts down that entire flank, and this pistol round is cooked. Maybe we'll try and isolate a kill, and gets her one.
It's a nice little play down short A to begin with. A very shallow teleport, not something you see all the time.
But it was awkward. I'm not entirely sure how Amy got caught off the way that she did. It was not a crazy timing for the Rays to be up on, but it looked like she just wasn't ready. So Amy gets traded out. It is MIBR to close out this pistol.
Yeah, MIBR just doing a little toying with Mimi in the 3-on-1, but really Lisa getting that reposition and 2 perfect shots is great.
There's that opener where Amy gets caught, and then this is just stunning from Lisa. Perfect 1-2 as this player swings just ahead of Petra's Sky Flash. I do want to talk a little about the comps because it is an interesting change regionally. G2, nice pitch.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
They were playing the Waylay Yoru comp, which I quite like. You have great combos for the Waylay to bait and set up for the Yoru, but they've chosen to exchange that for a double initiator, and I'm kind of waiting to see why they wanted this double drone, why they wanted the Sky in that slot instead. Because I think they could have just 1-for-1 to the fade out for the Teo, and it could have worked as well.
Well, Bastarda into the site now as, well, G2 are gone, to say the very least. Even after a headshot, it's not going to mean much of anything for G2. You talk a little bit about the composition and how you've got both the Skydog and the Teo drone here to spot out where MIBR are. I think maybe that's a little bit more relevant on the attacking side of things to scout out the early postings. And
sure. And I mean, if MIBR ever plays slower rounds, it is nice to have a ton of tools to re-clear on your defense. But with MIBR also playing a double duelist, you expect the pace to be not the slowest in the world from them.
Is there ever a world where they're just terrified of what SRN did to them in the lower finals and want to be able to scout out wherever that player is?
Certainly I'd be remembering that, but I don't think that would necessarily single-handedly trigger a comp change.
For context, last year I believe SRN went plus 27 in that best of 5.
Yeah, it was kind of disgusting what she did to G2. 2 years in a row where G2 has been eliminated by a Brazilian team. Trying to avoid that fate today as they have their guns up.
Yeah, especially after yesterday, just 2 rounds were the difference between G2 being in that upper bracket final for the match against Shopify Rebellion. Now Petra eyeing up B long, an orb in her face, so decides to fall back into the site.
And well, drone number 1 was sent towards A short, so there'll be a pretty quick rotate from this Teo. Ooh, that nade goes a bit wonky.
MIBR just in front of all the utility. Vanya in the middle of the site will end up falling. Petra deserted back into elbow, but at the same time there's a teleport from A. Amy here, but being guarded by Lisa on the other side. Good awareness from Amy, now creates some pressure on this flank.
But into the site, MIBR is playing close towards this choke point. It's still very hard for G2 to get out, even with Amy's flank.
How much can these players out of elbow do for G2? A snake bite for backside, forcing players out from 2. Melissa gets the first, and now Petra and Akita getting into the site for the 1-on-1. Akita will take it, just barely here to shut down MIBR's bonus.
Very nice from G2. I love the timings that they took, swinging out on that retake. Put enough pressure with that Viper Molly. And then as they come to spawn, Crosshair's already pulled looking the other direction, so the elbow players get a pretty easy entry into that site. That's a kind of classic G2 round. They're a team that is very good, especially in that game yesterday, at being coordinated and on point at these very high pressure late round fights. It was coming down to it constantly on that split game that they played against the other Brazilian squad in this tournament.
On the other side, MIBR showing a blatant disrespect for the stall util of G2 in that last round, just ripping it in there. Team that'll play quicker rounds on average than you'll see G2 on their attack.
That's also the beauty of keeping double duelists. Bastarda and SRN, those are two scary players to be running at you.
Me, though, personally, I'm scared of Amy.
With the judge.
With the judge in hookah. And now with the lurk pressure going down, this is going to encourage MIBR to move in. No scouting. So it's just a contact step forward. That judge gets the one. Before leaning onto the A side from G2, MIBR should be able to plant.
One nice thing about this comp, they used the drone for that clear onto Lisa. Now they have another for this retake as well.
Smoke's already in, but Bastarda posted on elbow. She can play spoiler now with a very quick wraparound onto site. The rest of MIBR playing off site. They've got a Brimstone ult to stall. The first kill goes Bastarda's way. Now it's going to go into C's combo. It's beautiful. Sayuri for 2. Off of Melissa's utility. Has been so locked in this tournament. Now Petra, 2 players in front of her, 1 from behind. MIBR take their 3rd.
That is such a stunning utility combo from MIBR. Just want to watch it again. The C's connecting perfectly onto 2 as that ultimate comes in. And, well, she didn't end up being the most important part of the round. The timing that Bastarda picked to swing from spawn, I think even if only 1 or no players died to that ult, they would have been scattering directly into her crosshair.
Absolutely beautiful. The combination of forward play from Bastarda and the ult combo out of MIBR.
And that's brutal for G2 because it really went their way. They got a flush onto the lurk, kill Lisa, have a nice retake set up on B, but that one play shuts it down.
Well, G2 on pistols. We're playing 3 in spawn at the start of the round. React to this early attention. Akita with the sheriff, look at that. A couple of kills already, but again, nice utility makes things a little bit messy. It is a one-on-one.
I would say a lot of it messy. Sayori in a 1v1 now, but healthy and a rotation already into this B site.
Sayori already playing a phenomenal game. 9-2 on the Brimstone. And Petra sends out the Seekers, giving kind of bad information. The Seekers looking like they want to go back towards defense spawn. Sayori playing on the site anyways.
It should show that she's on site, but how specific is the information?
It runs
Sayori.
out.
No.
And now this position up on top. Sayori for 3. No problems there, even though G2 make it close.
That's really brutal for Petra. Just loses the time on her ult. It's very rare you actually see the timing of that come into play. MIBR, they made that a very simple anti-eco, just rushing into the A site. The last time they did this, they also hit into a stack. However, this time it gets a lot scarier. G2 picking great timings on those swings.
Is there a concern for MIBR now playing pretty heavy into the XX? They haven't really played much of the map.
Sure.
Can G2 just find stacks like that on gun rounds and just completely shut them down?
They can. That is if MIBR doesn't adapt out of this timeout. Because
Sure.
I think if you see G2 taking a timeout like this, you might want to show them a couple slow rounds. But what they have that's fantastic is a Raze ultimate for this one, which is another just excel button. That's the thing about this comp. Even if you're hitting into a stack, you're going to have your ult in a moment. You have Raze Rocket. Both of those tools will completely dismantle any setup.
So MIBR can use those and just snowball on through with taking these early rounds. Now G2 trying to make some adjustments.
One thing I liked earlier that G2 did was that they stacked heavier 4-1. When they didn't see early info there, they went for that drone reclaim, killed Lisa. I think that's a theme that I want to see continue with how heavily MIBR play into executes. If you are very quickly hearing noise on one side, droning out the other, and getting these very fast rotations, I think there will be rounds where they can beat MIBR into these sites.
Now this is a little bit odd. G2, look at the money they spent on this round. Last round was Sheriffs and Classics. This round, a little bit of a half buy. Maybe Amy can get that long orb for a pit and the judge isn't necessarily punished. G2 choosing to save a lot of money here.
Yeah, it is interesting.
My ult's ready.
But it's going to be a tough round to win, considering the ultimates from MIBR. Now getting Bastarda's Yoru ult.
Drone is down.
The Raze Yoru is so hard to anchor against.
Early scouting here because MIBR really anticipating some aggression out of G2 from the timeout.
And this is now exactly the kind of round you're talking about, where G2 call into a 4-1 stack, and MIBR, they have to deal with it, but they do have the perfect tools this round.
Exactly. But this timing to step forward from G2 is nice. Could catch MIBR before they start this exec. MIBR are very patient though. Oh no, Sayuri with gun in hand. And now Petra gets another one. Melissa has to fire back on the other side and will succeed. It's a 2-on-2. Still pressure coming in, and it forces out a nightfall from Melissa.
But it doesn't connect onto anyone, and G2 will walk together back through spawn.
This is a wacky round. 40 seconds left.
MIBR have such a tough choice. They want to defend these guns, but they also need to take space somewhere and get the spike down.
And they don't know where Amy is. We haven't seen her all round, so they're going to clear all of sight. They're going to clear into lamps, maybe even worry about a player back in spawn.
But the longer you wait, the longer you expect them to be going back short for the guns. So what do? You plant back sight.
Mimi holding her utility for now. Missile out.
Planted.
Pushes Bastarda up into lamps. Bastarda is there. Survives on 5 HP. Will end up falling. We got another one-on-one. Amy and Melissa. A pit to bleed out of lamps.
We'll catch them.
And a seize onto Amy. Takes her low. Pulls her away from the spike.
Where are
More utility from Melissa. Melissa, where do you take this? Amy will shut her out.
A huge clutch for Amy to come up in the 1v2.
And it was Amy yesterday as well that was single-handedly carrying through G2 of that final map. Taken away at the end, but a Red Bull clutch now.
And it's a Red Bull clutch that is coming on an eco round. That is coming on the round your opponent used the Yoru ult. They picked such a great timing to go for that refight down short. Pushing 3 players in, catching Sayori, who's been a monster this game, with the iPad in hand. That's what this comp is going to excel at. These mid-round reclears. That one, they didn't even use the drone. But at any time, they can be pushing out and getting that information, walking up behind it. And that's going to be very punishing for a team like MIBR, who doesn't run a Sentinel and runs a ton of hard executes.
That round maybe just taking a little bit too much time. Giving G2 the window to step forward. Now G2 again playing very heavily stacked. This is even on an anti-eco. 4 on the A site for now. While the exchange of Viper Orbs down B long makes MIBR take things slowly.
They're fine playing retake B because they have 3 ultimates this round that could each single-handedly win a retake. So
kind of
I'd
insane.
expect them to continue that setup for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, the abilities, we didn't really talk about the tail ult comboing with the Waylay ult, but very nice to layer on top of one another. Especially down B long if MIBR choose to play off the site.
The thing is, no matter what guns your opponent has and what ults you have, it's still scary to retake 5-on-5 into B.
MIBR getting proactive, playing into elbow, while G2 send 2 on the flank. Amy is here. Steps backward, tries to stall out and buy more time for that flank to activate. G2 don't have unlimited time, and probably have to send the ultimates. That pressure has actually pulled out 2. And a counter showstopper with SRN leaving it on site. That's 2! And now the Sheriff out of hookah. This could be a perfect round for MIBR. Mimi takes down a couple, but she's already so low. A thrifty win for MIBR.
That is the worst thing that could have happened to G2. They used 3 ultimates to lose an anti-eco.
Disaster.
Truly heartbreaking. And this MasterCard Thrifty, well, sure, it's fine to play retake with these ultimates. It's good even. The issue is SRN, the value she gets with that ultimate.
It's all because of that fight into elbow, right? That pulled ultimates down onto that side of the map.
They created so much pressure.
Exactly. If you have Teo on site, that could be a different story. But now G2 once again onto a broken bye. I feel like they've never been comfortable this entire half.
No, the money's always been bad in some way, shape, or form.
Now just getting bullied on orb control.
Petra goes for a walk. That's getting held, and she'll get shooed back away.
Actually with a quick turnaround, but it's a boombot kill to trade her out. A little bit silly there as that seize is again perfect. Keep your eyes on Melissa's utility. I have been relentlessly impressed by her Fade performances so far this tournament.
I think she's the most underrated player on this team, on either of our Brazilian teams, I think. You have so many names you talk about here. But generally, she's the last one to be mentioned, but you're right, not just this map with those 2 C's combos, but the timing she chooses to use that utility. Despite Big Nurse coming into her role, she has been a monster this tournament.
Okay.
Vanya has been excellent as well.
No one ever said Vanya wasn't a shooter, okay? Now, unfortunately, when Molly's enter the equation, there's 3 or 4 players on the other side, it becomes a little less likely.
Yeah, you can't really shoot through that scenario. So 6-2 up, go MIBR, and really it doesn't get any easier for G2 because they blew all their ults on an anti-eco that they lost. So for the rest of this half, MIBR will be a step ahead in that game, and that Bind is a map that is defined by power ults, where
Absolutely.
one ultimate can single-handedly take a site, single-handedly win a round. And that has me real worried for G2's prospects here.
I also just think MIBR have been doing a great job of dominating orb control. Even here, the snakebite lineup.
Okay.
G2 dive on down lane short. 2 more players behind this one. Mimi in the lead. And that's a nice shot out of her. The follow-up from Vanya is true. With a teleport out from Petra as well. It is just perfection, this crunch play. So often you'll see that play out of showers with the teleport.
Yeah.
Instead, though, G2 draw it up to just go straight down A short.
That is really nice from them. G2, they've conditioned these very slow rounds where if they're going aggressive, it's re-walking in the mid-round. So they lose a big round, they get guns back online, and this is similar to the eco round that they won earlier. I think that their read is when MIBR have ultimates, they want to be fighting up. They don't want to take that risk of sitting back and getting executed onto. And the execution there was just excellent.
I do like the approach from G2. Unfortunately for them this time around, playing very heavy onto V, and MIBR with the Yor ult this time, not wasting a moment.
That's the trade-off of playing 4-1 every round. Sometimes you just get execed.
I was worried with the iPad out for Vanya, but this triple flank now being held. Lisa, get a little cinematic with it. 1-on-1, now that teleport broken.
These last 2 players are noted. So what does MIBR choose to do? They're still hunkered close on the site. They started with flashes to threaten towards short.
Melissa, too, has stepped out of showers. Can go on a flank. SRN with a pretty angle here. Discourages G2 from coming out from pipes. Now up onto short. 2 players right on the other side of the smoke. Sky open, and now Melissa stabbing G2 in the back. It's a little bit messy. It's a little all over the place, but Melissa has always been here. Still with the C's in hand. Protects her front, but she's eaten way too much of the clock for Petra to have any chance in the round. It's another for MIBR.
But Starta played that post plant so well. The way that she danced around that smoke outside of U-Haul.
And it was her stalling, both with the utility and the fight she took, that gave Melissa the time to come up and backstab on A short.
And win another one in the late rounds. And this is the point I was making earlier, where when you're playing 4-1, sometimes your gamble is just wrong and you're forced to play retake. But I think MIBR have now realized that it's 4-1 every time. So, G2, they're going to go back to the aggression. These have been the only rounds that have been working thus far.
Oh, this could get ugly. Missiles immediately with a double dive to the left. Lisa tagged up, and the hindrance gives Akita the protection to get the kill and get on out.
You're G2, you are happy. You've killed Bastarda. You've stunted any aggression. Reset.
There.
And play more passive defense now.
MIBR wanted to step forward, but the smoke.
Look
tells
at this
them different.
rewalk. 2 players coming out of showers.
Lisa holding for that one. Akita still coming back, even with the stinger in hand. And as SRN comes into the site, showers will be the problem MIBR have to solve. It could even be just going into backside. It's a kill from Vanya. It's a couple more through the smoke.
Down A.
And the fire on the floor. Lisa with a spam shot through the wall. Oh, look where that spike is hanging out.
But what a difficult crossfire to break for Lisa. She does have her wall, so can cycle that up and down, try and walk her way out. But no matter how she slices it, at some point, she'll have to face a 2-on-1.
They're kind of on top of each other. Lisa, are you ready?
30 seconds left.
Are you ready, Lisa? No. Akita not going to leave a chance.
So if everything else fails, you just run aggro looks every round for G2.
Yep. I mean, it makes sense. Akita, you think of yesterday's series, getting every single first kill it seemed like.
Yeah, she was outrageous there. The coordination on these fast plays has been really good. I think Akita looks very comfortable on the waylay. She's been hitting a lot of huge hinders in these plays. And that's to even discount the follow-up zone like Vanya had that round. So now, Looking towards the end of this half, again, conversation goes to the ult, as MIBR will look to exec fast towards B.
Mimi quick to rotate over. 3 players here, and SRN way on through. Opens up everything. Now G2 trying to fight back into the site. Amy on the flank. And Mimi as well. Yet to be dealt with. Take a moment, MIBR. There's a wild opening of the round.
Yeah, they'll reset now, though. They're super happy to be up in a 3-on-2. G2 have shown a lot of rounds where they're going for heavy lurks on these flanks. So MIBR punish and make sure that's not happening.
The thing is, though, Mimi has perfectly read this walk back into A. She could have hung around on B. Instead, regroups with her teammate.
It's still tough. Akita has an outlaw. All of these players have full shield.
Okay, Akita right out into the open. Putting Mimi in a 1-on-3, but they're never going to be ready for her in showers. Mimi, 2 kills waiting for her! And now the 1-on-1. Out to the side, Lisa will take the round.
Lisa's been so thorough this game. The one to ensure it doesn't slip away yet again. So what started as a rough half for G2, they found some solutions. The fast plays, the aggression, it was working, but it was never consistent. And MIBR up 8-4, and this half happy.
Wow, 저요.
Mimi almost had a moment there, but couldn't quite see it through. Now G2 looking at a deficit, but before we get into the second half, we've got Jen Lee on the floor, standing by with G2's rescue.
Hey guys, it's Jen here, and I'm with the perfect person to ask about what's been going on behind the closed doors. G2's rescue now. Rescue, how's the vibe of the group over the 24 hours or so? Good? Determined?
Last year we also got eliminated to MIBR, so they were pretty determined to beat them today. Like, Bind is their pick, but we still pretty feel like confident on it. And yeah, they were feeling good.
So, you know, you faced MIBR too. So when it comes to coming out on top today, what is the key?
Well, MIBR is a pretty strong team, I would say. Like, they 3-0 last year. I think against them you need a good mental, because you know, they're one of those teams like they will stand up and they have a really strong crowd too. And yeah, they're also like really good aimers, and I think they have a better roster than last year, even this year. So yeah, I think you need to be confident, just play your game and, you know, beat them.
네, 먼저 G2의 식스맨인 레스큐 선수에게 오늘 팀의 전반적인 멘탈은 어떠냐고 물어봤더니 굉장히 작년에 MIBR의 손에 탈락했던 G2이기 때문에 오늘 그런 부분을 확실히 복수해주기 위해서 지금 의지가 넘친다고 얘기를 해줬고요. 그리고 작년에 MIBR에 위해서 올해 MIBR을 만났을 때 꼭 승리를 거두기 위해서 어떤 점이 중요하냐고 물어봤더니 일단 MIBR 너무 트래쉬 토킹도 잘하고 분위기나 흐름을 이어갈 수도 있고 작년보다 훨씬 더 강해 보이는 로스터이기 때문에 G2 입장에서는 자신감을 잃지 않고 정말 이 멘탈 관리 단단히 잡아서 좋은 모습을 보여주는 게 중요할 것 같다고 얘기를 했습니다. 이렇게 해서 레스큐 선수 만나봤습니다.
Harkening back down.
Well, MIBR currently leading 8-4 at the half, and it's less than promising news to hear ResQ say that MIBR's roster is even better than the roster last year that 3-0 G2.
I actually agree, though. I think what's crazy is that despite just doing a trade and one other move, both Brazilian teams ended up with a better roster this year than they had last year.
I mean, both of them looking incredibly strong. You can check out in the Coinbase Econ report, SRN, who both dominant today, as well as leading the scoreboard in that lower final in 2024.
Oh yeah, she is a beast to contend with. Had a very good start to this half, that attack side. I think this is her map. The way that she plays on that raise, her movement is so good, her mechanics are on point. I think also just the combos that she had with Melissa, with the C's nades, it was all very, very good.
Think about the one round where she used one showstopper and it defeated 3 ultimates out from G2. But G2 need to come in with the pistol round here. Negative on pistols in the tournament. And they played a lot of slow rounds just yesterday. Trying to go a little bit quicker this time around, but they're going to meet so much stall util.
I don't think they'll have a choice on the speed. That Molly should full cancel this hit.
Although Akita can always go up and over it with some missiles. Akita will go ahead for the slide down in the smoke though. Lisa and Sayuri set up this crossfire. Now 2 teleports into showers. Amy in the corner. Brings into a 3-on-3. And she gets out of it. Not for long with Bastarda following on through.
But these players are separated. Mimi has the
What?
TP, and Akita is stuck backside.
The minimap is absolutely insane. With Akita between 3 players now.
But MIBR know they're holding, they're waiting.
And
Does
they-
Bastarda realize? No.
Unprepared, not at all. A 1-on-2 for Mimi. It's gonna be the best shot she'll have. Melissa was taken low. And if Mimi needs, she has a missile, the stun. But first she needs a shot.
I'll find you.
Now some reveal. Mimi still wants this line. Stepping forward. Now the missile's under pressure as 2 players come her way. Nice shot! And Mimi still holding down the fort. Sayuri around the corner. We'll take another pistol.
Sayori has closed out so many of these rounds for MIBR. She keeps it in control yet again. That one got so weird for G2. They choose to force this round through the utility. And I want to contrast what you watch now, where 2 players die coming through that molly, to what may have happened if they were running their old comp. With this composition, they only have 1 player who can actually dive past stall util. Before they had a Yoru. On other maps, you'll see teams have an Omen or something else. No, this is 100% reliant on Akita. And when you choose to force those types of rounds, she has to get the opener. And you're essentially gambling on that happening. The gamble didn't go G2's way on that pistol.
Yeah. And yet, the hope is that it has so many times gone their way. Akita has been looking solid, I think, this tournament, stepping onto the global stage for the first time. A young player for G2. But MIBR, no strangers to the stage, no strangers to taking these pistols. Bastarda plucks Akita right out of the sky. And the rest of MIBR can show up to this site, take things slow as G2 really try to fight forward. They're throwing absolutely everything in, and Melissa is farming.
2 players in this lobby haven't played at GCC before, but it does feel a little different. In Brazil, they play LAN for pretty much every event, more than really any other region. So despite it being Lisa's first event, she has so much experience on stages just like this. For Akita, though, it does feel a bit newer. Only had that opportunity for the finals in EMEA in stage 3, and then got to show up here. But what a performance she's had since arriving on this stage.
G2 stealing away that #1 spot at the very end of the year. After been a little bit more of a struggle. Now MIBR step 2 players up A short. Of course, Bastarda away, and SRN's making noise. Bastarda, first shot goes wide, wants to challenge again, but there Akita is. Stepping up for the first time in this second half. Things still awkward. Outside of market, Vanya holding for this. Sayuri will drop. Still, G2 didn't choose to take a site, instead sort of coming back, seeing if the aggression was still going to be there.
But with that dog, they're now going to realize that this is a light site. They can get in. The worry is SRN.
SRN. Petra waiting for her. Now with MIBR divided on opposite sides of the map.
This should be stabilized now. These 2 players, they only have a bulldog each. And for G2, you know that 1 more player is on the flank. You see Amy being very thorough in watching that angle. And they'll lock up this 5th round.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah. I want to take a chance to talk about the comp change outside of just what they're losing, but what they're gaining with this double drone composition, because it is very interesting.
The Sky and the Tejo?
Yeah. No one really plays that kind of double initiator, especially not now after all the initiator nerfs. But I think what the greatest strengths of it is on... Okay, Melissa, get your...
Drop a little highlight for us.
Yeah. Get your ultimate, maybe? If she can die? Yeah, she'll do that. But what this is going to give G2 is kind of 2 things. 1, on your executes. You can be pathing a drone one side and the other at the same time and have, like, crazy info. The other, when you play your slow rounds, it's very good for just taking extremities. Getting players up onto the ult orbs. And I think the 3rd strength of having all of those drones is if they want to play slow rounds like they play on a map like they're split, they have so many tools to wait out initial aggression and then be able to kind of re-clear and pick and poke at different parts of the map simultaneously in a way you can't with solo initiator.
See how that information gain comes to effect in these rounds, especially now that Bastarda has picked up the operator. I think having multiple drones is probably the best way to counter out an op.
Oh yeah, it is. There's that first facet, just getting that Sky Flash in and claiming an alt orb. But MIBR very quickly reclaim that space.
Huh. The Teo drone goes all the way down A short, sees nothing.
And that's pulled a rotate from Lisa.
And Mimi is suspicious. Very aware that the Shower's Walk could be coming. SRN will shy away from the fight. Bastarda now with the operator in hand.
There is a drone for her though.
Here comes that dog, tries to swing in front of it. Good patience out of G2, and Bastarda will be forced to teleport back into the site. Sees Akita on the cross. Akita saw her as well. And now the utility coming down. She's trying to run away, but the Molly's on the floor. Chew her up. MIBR, I think they're calling to save.
It's done. That's a great example of how the drones come into play. G2 start towards A showers. MIBR reclears that space. But as G2's rotating, they send the Teo drone into A. That pulls Lisa off B and opens up this free site to execute with the waylay.
And then the layers on top of that is our util combos. Because
so nice.
I think a lot of the time G2 are going to throw either a Viper Molly or Brimstone Molly on the CT flood into backside of B. That wasn't even necessarily intended to combo on the retreating player. That's just part of their default exec onto B. The fact that Akita just lights up the floor and makes it impossible for Bastarda to run out of there, who had already used the teleport, being pushed back by the drone, as you mentioned.
And that's an even bigger win for G2 because the round that MIBR had the operator, it's already done. It'll stay lying on the floor.
Now MIBR do survive with 3 guns in their hands, so we'll have something of a bye heading in here.
That was so thorough from Mimi to consider that repush out of showers.
Brutal.
So what do G2 do now? Showed us a slower round in the last one. Feigning a little towards A. Here, they'll open 4 on the B side of the map, but MIBR's here as well. They're duelists ready to rock on B.
High chance SRN just goes walking out of sand, but after putting down the boom bot, instead choosing to come back into long. This is where MIBR want to take the fight. Breaking the drone, only showing a pistol here.
Could be a season aid.
Here we go. It's going to be a high flash off of the Haunt. And SRN gets that first kill. Now with the re-swing, Petra is there. Holding the line, trying to stop this gun from being retrieved.
Yeah, that hero gun. I don't think Bastarda has any way to get that forced away by the drones. And G2 freeze.
Yeah, G2 not fully committing. Vanya was playing control outside of showers the whole time to make sure no one walked up. Now coming back to the team, regrouping a little bit before the full pop. MIBR have 3 to respond of their own. And it'll be Sayuri with the Phantom. Backside. That'll be the biggest problem for G2 if they commit, but that's a big if.
But will they commit? This is G2 we're talking about. They love these slow rounds, these very last-second rotations.
It makes me nervous because yesterday there were a lot of rounds that were problem. And wait a second, they're teleporting, which is now causing all of MIBR to start rotating. It feels like the teleport was maybe even a little bit pre-fired.
MIBR second guesses it. There's only 2 players on A. Neither can stop the spike.
But there's Molly's ready to go down onto the spike. Now, yes, Mimi is in the site. I think they should be able to plant, but Amy is taking some damage. Sayuri's already into the back of sight. Now a Nightfall means MIBR will activate quickly. Mimi on bench. Breaks the Haunt, and the swing comes through at the same time. MIBR, tactical on the approach back in. G2 drop an early Molly. Leave Amy in lamps. And our position has been known. Vanya on the other side as the spike is tapped. The swings come in. MIBR holding for it. And Vanya has to have the 1v3. She started up, and she finishes it.
Just unreal from Vanya. She has been G2's best player this tournament. Beasting on the Brimstone yet again with a truly unreal Red Bull clutch.
To get that when it comes so down on the clock is crazy.
And for G2, these are the rounds that they were getting away with against Liquid on their split overtime. Calling last-second pivots without a embed. But somehow they keep making it work. And Akita, I mean, she can't believe it. They can't believe it.
I feel like I just witnessed like 3 different things that Akita just did there, like completely separate trains of thought. Oh.
Okay. Timeout.
Timeout. Yeah.
I would
Collect
need it too
yourself.
if I was MIBR. Brutal round to lose. And suddenly, Chrissy, G2 is back in this. 3 rounds won in a row. A couple with some nice util, 1 with a crazy clutch. And now they're cooking with gas.
Making me a little bit nervous about MIBR's chances, but MIBR called a timeout, and the options they have to work with, it has to be Bastarda, and looking how this op comes into play again.
But it's going to be so hard. She basically needs someone holding hands with her to break the drones, because there are so many drones to push her off.
I don't think that's a difficult ask, right?
No.
That's a pretty normal thing that MIBR just weren't giving her support the last round she had the op and wasn't able to play the round because of it.
She should have it this time, or she might just try and get ahead of it.
Okay.
Walks close on short.
Well, there's an instant dog and an instant TP up into heaven.
Fortunately, no one broke it for her again, so just tucks back.
Oh, here we go, G2. Ultimate to backside Akita trying to dive on top. Any player trying to escape out of that one. And now, up on top. Slide on back, shot goes wide. Ultimates in backside, G2 are just blowing up the floor.
But MIBR got out with 5, and now a Yoru ult to fight back in.
MIBR gonna be quick on the reapproach. Already out. Mimi keeping these players at bay. Some missiles to help guide as Bastarda seeks an opening. Has come all the way around on the flank, and now the rest of MIBR show up. Vanya again! It's a monster! And Bastarda into a 1-on-3. Only sees fire and despair. Vanya back to back.
8 kills in the last 2 rounds from the Turkish controller. It's gotta feel so good for her. Last year it was her debut with G2. Memories of losing to them in the lower finals. Now here, basically single-handedly winning back-to-back rounds.
Wild stuff. Now sitting 20 and 12 on the brim.
And again, I feel like a lot was going right for MIBR. They got everyone off site. A Yoru ult to fight back in, but not with Vanya.
Fight out of sand on the eco from MIBR. Vanya holding it with the outlaw and switches to a rifle on the retreat. That is actually a free outlaw if MIBR were to go for the flank, but instead calling it off as G2 speed up on A.
MIBR have gotten rotates in.
The spike is still back in spawn. Petra has to go for that one while her team execs onto the site.
Yeah, that's a Bucky in Sayori's hands, so danger in U-Haul.
Good thing is you just don't have to take U-Haul if you just hold the exits out of it. If Akita wants to go up onto heaven, what a silly little exec here. Now just peering into spawn. It's bullying time against MIBR on the light guns.
At least it stands up to bullies. Won't let that one get away.
The rest of MIBR are just bystanders.
Yeah, she has a very weird exclave in U-Haul. They know she's here. They're not going in.
Call for the extraction maybe a little bit later. Mimi still trying to farm up a few kills here. Petra connects on the other side. I mean, truthfully, G2 are starting to get some momentum behind themselves.
They are.
Not too far away from a few more ultimates. Only 1 round trailing now after refusing to lose a single rifle round in the second half. Remember, this started off with an 8-4 half from MIBR. MIBR winning the pistol, but it has now been 5 rounds in a row for G2.
If I was MIBR, I think I would not go back to this operator, because it has not found success. Every time, Bastarda is just getting droned off the line. I think this is a comp that is great at bunkering one side with double smokes and being like proactive in fighting with the double duelists and the Fade on the other. But they disagree. Bastarda wants another try.
But the thing is, if you're going to play the op, you have ways to break those drones and give her pockets to re-swing into the line. We haven't seen that yet.
The issue, though, is if it ever comes down to a retake, it becomes so much harder with the op.
Sure. What's going on here? Akita not even dashing in.
Sort of TP'd in for a moment. Then
Akita is in lamps, while G2 are regrouping to exec on B. Currently being held by Sayuri. And Seeker's out of Puka, ready for G2 to pile up into the site. That lurk now dealt with, but Bastarda again fails to find impact.
so it's a straight up 4-on-4 retake, but Amy has the pit.
Ooh, that's nasty. MIBR not gonna have an easy time cutting back through that one, just facing up into it, and Amy is just gonna mow them all down. What is going on in this second half?
It's a complete reversal, really. Melissa will run for the hills. So you're telling me Akita takes you all single-handedly, alone,
Yes.
just sits there. They take the time to kill her. But while that's going on, Sans Duelist, G2 execute B and win?
Apparently, that seemed to be the case. It was odd. Like, it seemed like MIBR, they weren't really playing on site. They just had the operator down on Hookah.
And again, it doesn't do anything because she just gets wrapped around from the player's Hookah.
But honestly, if G2 have the hard read that op is going to be down B long, the way they called that round out
Exactly
of
the way to beat
is
it.
perfect.
Yep.
Full exec out of Hookah. You have the Sky Trails, the Trailblazers that tell you exactly where to go. The Seekers, rather. And then you can just slide in behind.
Even if that's a dog, it also works.
Yeah.
Just walk it up long. So MIBR call a timeout now. They have lost 6 rounds in a row.
What do you think? So, okay, MIBR, their money is a little bit chalked going into the next round,
Sure.
but what, like, broad strokes adjustments can they try to make here to stop the way G2's playing?
Well, it's what I was saying in the last round. Stop hopping. Have
Okay.
Bastarda and SRN play one side with Melissa and get aggressive into one of the 2 extremities on that side of the map. And on the other side, you heavy bunker with the 2 controllers.
So you're talking B long showers is where
Yep.
you want to fight. If you
Something
play on
like
those
that.
lines, can play around the teleporter even to get a crunch
You can have a
happening.
pinch from that side, and then on the other, I mean, think back to the pistol. G2, even though they have very good executor, going into the bunkered setup of the Viper and the Brim somewhere, it is so hard to get through unless Akita just dominates someone on the opener.
Yeah, I mean, the test there is whether or not MIBR are too busy throwing the utility to have their guns out, and then the Waylay can crush you.
Okay,
One
so-
thing that's been consistent throughout today has been the G2 fans out in force. Like, even when things were going rough, even when they were getting beaten on eco rounds, still making noise here in Lal Park.
Yeah, they have very much traveled well, these EMEA fans. This is the eco round for MIBR, but Lisa still chooses to use the pit early towards A. Interesting setup. A bait for Bastarda. She's played here a ton, so she can jiggle, TP out, and then hope SRN gets something done in the corner.
And if they realize it's a lot of players, SRN does have a showstopper. If they commit all the way up, nice shot from Bastarda. Showstopper could come online, but she doesn't get it off. Pulls the trigger too late. And Akita can just slide up into the site.
And now a post plant for G2 in a round that was quite literally half a second from disaster.
Okay. Mimi.
We might still be half a second from disaster. 3-on-3. Melissa has a gun.
Oh, but remember what Amy did here last time. That was 3 kills in that position. Granted, there was a pit.
The hunt didn't show.
Oh dear, only one though. And Akita and Petra pushed away from the spike. Ultimate out. Only tags the player backside. Now Akita dancing around the side of the smoke. Shorty comes in. It's 3 on the round from her. And now Lisa, with so little time on the clock, needs to get on this spike. Needs to get its half. Needs to get this kill. Petra will take another and take the lead for the first time for G2.
That's 8 rounds, 1 in a row for G2. They are rolling in this second half.
And to be fair, okay, winning that round, it makes sense. It's an eco, but MIBR used 2 ultimates, the pit and the showstopper here that got nothing.
And this is so heartbreaking. The second that she's pulling it out is when Akita gets that kill.
It's the difference between using the satchel and just casting the dang rocket.
Yep.
That time.
And you understand why she does it. Wants to be a hard target to hit. Thinks she doesn't have that half second. But it doesn't happen.
Ends up falling. Now MIBR needs someone to step up.
But that was just their ego.
Melissa falls away from showers. Smoke goes down, another orb gained by G2.
3 players stacked up on A. SRN boosted top box. MIBR just hard anchoring this round.
Sayuri goes unnoticed. There's a player right on top for an aim. He's looking down inside of the smoke. Now backside, absolutely bombarded by utility. Mimi finds the spam shot. Can Bastarda do something from showers? Can SRN do something in lamps? They can!
Spike down A.
That spike is down on the ground. Vanya gets to herself. And Bastarda teleported all the way back to B.
So they won't know exactly where she is, but still a 1v3. G2 watching every angle, and Amy so thorough. G2, they were trailing into half. They lost the pistol. Since then, it has been perfect.
From 10-2 to 12-10 was the comeback.
Just straight up dominance.
And Vanya continues to impress.
And she was the one who started this, right?
Yep.
Remember the back-to-back 4Ks.
Let's go, baby.
And now MIBR have to hold on. Have to try and avoid this fate.
With 4 Guardians and no one breaking the haunt. I mean, was that 3 or 4 players revealed? That was a lot.
I think it was 3. Drone goes short.
G2 a bit reserved, but anticipating the heavy fight out of showers. Already sneaking some players into short. Flash pings from Petra.
Petra's just pressuring them, waiting for this round.
Akita's diving into the site. At the same time, MIBR under fire. Backs against the wall, but not out yet.
They have this spike.
Yeah, Akita had the spike the whole time. It was a huge mistake from G2. But they put down the smoke themselves. Now an orb.
Amy should be able to get this.
Yeah.
She will.
Now, though, with that time gained, Lisa
She's
stepping
got a
forward.
one-on-one.
And MIBR have ultimates. Dimensional drift from Bastarda to scout out the site. G2 haven't planted yet. And Lisa is shot out by Vanya again. The dimensional drift means nothing. G2 keep winning their fights. They can teleport over to B. Mimi is in their spawn. G2 running circles on MIBR.
Bastarda tried to hop out of the ult and shorty someone. She gets punished. And now G2, they might just flawlessly close this run out.
Spike.
The ultimate is ready.
But it's not so simple. Vanya on 20 HP, Amy on 39. Sayuri and SRN, the best players for MIBR in this opening match. But Amy has caught a timing.
Go ahead. Stand.
Amy, Sayuri gets the first kill, that's major. But Amy is still unchecked. Amy inside of this smoke and popping out. Wait a second, SRN has the read after clearing down long. Sayuri gets another kill. Sayuri finds 4! But is there time? It's down to the wire, and with 1 second left, MIBR stay alive.
Where did Sayuri pull that out of? I need to see those kills again.
With a Guardian, no less.
The IGL.
Be right back.
And this is how it started. Akita dives in for the opener. Sure, she gives up the spike, but G2 turn it around. Get this kill on the lurker. You thought it was gonna be another masterclass from Vanya. Bastarda makes a big mistake, but it's the IGL. That shot is stunning. But is it enough? One more round to decide if it ends here or if we head to OT.
Heavy fight over showers to start it off. G2 do not want to go back to another overtime. I remember how that series ended last night.
So they play it slow.
Spike dropped.
Put some pressure towards showers. Call back to see if anyone's walked on B.
Time to hunt.
Goes down A short, just putting some pressure down as the wall goes up and the rest of the team regroups on B.
MIBR have seen a lot of these setups with the drone on one side to pull a fake. They don't bite on it this time.
Live munition.
That spike's gonna head back over to A, isn't it? Akita gives it up, gives it over to the Brimstone, maybe a little better on that front.
Toxins going up.
Still, time is dwindling.
With 35 seconds, so much will be asked of Sayuri again. She's the player to take the first fight.
30 seconds
No
left.
Molly to stall out this plant. And no one even really guarding her.
Akita wants to fight out again.
Oh, it's a heavy dive on up, but Sayuri will get a kill anyways. 20 seconds left, the Nightfall comes out, Melissa is here. We're down to the wire.
They're
It's teleports
pivoting.
onto the B side, but there's still 2 players here. Look at the site, look at Bastarda. Bastarda down in hell, gets 2. She's tearing their heads off. MIBR want this map.
That is redemption for Bastarda. She had a diabolical half. 3 rounds with the operator where she gets nothing. The round where she had the Yoru ult, jumping out, nearly losing MIBR this game. But when it mattered the absolute most, she gets her 3.
Nice ball!
And as we take a moment to breathe before another overtime for G2, they will sit with another map they could have had. A round where they were up numbers, so they lost to the heroics of 1 player of an IGL. Daiki yesterday, Sayuri today.
Take hold.
2 years in a row eliminated by Brazil.
But that was a different story. That was lower finals back-to-back.
And now here, 2 games in a row in overtime versus Brazil. Can they change the script? Can they win it this time?
Prowler is unsuccessful at pushing the players off of B-Long.
And he was on the aggro line, falls back to play high-low with Akita.
This is abnormally slow from MIBR. They were doing so many grouped hits in the first half.
That is how this round will end as well.
Amy and Akita. You see Mimi back in spawn, ready to very quickly rotate either side of the map. Bastarda, the brilliant first shot. And now it will just be Amy and Akita in backside, taking control over lamps. Still slow from MIBR to get into the site. It's going to be messy with Akita fighting forward. Shoulder reveal, good utility. MIBR bring the fight to G2. Straight into lamps. And this is a disaster for Vanya and Petra. After playing a perfect second half, to lose a couple of rounds into an OT and now find themselves in a 2-on-5.
How do you even start to solve this one? There's mollies coming in from Sayuri.
Flash through, the wall comes down. Vanya doesn't stand a chance. A flawless start to overtime.
MIBR have so swiftly switched this momentum back into their control. Pretty much every round on their attack, they showed these hyper-fast plays here. They slow it down, and that's the crucial piece. Amy overcommits to the jiggle, gets beheaded by Bastarda.
Well, let's talk about Bastarda. How about her stepping up in crunch time, right? Was playing a really tough half, right? Couldn't find any value with the operator, but then getting a few opening kills to then having the huge round of the Guardian on B site to force this OT. Now finds the opening pick, is now topping the leaderboard to boot.
G2 have to wrestle some control back. This game was all elation for them. You see the change on the face of Akita. For Vanya, who had so many rounds she won alone, now having to try and summon one more on attack.
MIBR winning through the power of friendship, it seems.
And different faces on the G2 fans.
Yeah, kind of a roller coaster for them.
G2, they have pretty much always shown us these very slow rounds. Mimi has loved calling these drone pressure one side, drone pressure the other, fake back in. Is this the round where she simplifies? Just sends and execute. Certainly MIBR want to fight.
A
Seize
seize.
made.
Melissa was usually saving the seizes. This is different.
They're reading that it's going to be a fast play on A.
Oh my word. G2 creeping in. Off of the drone is when they pull the trigger, but G2 wisely retreat. Bait out the utility, now ready to pop back through. So much pressure on Akita to find the first kill here, but it's Petra to do it instead. Melissa in the back of sight, dodged away from the flash. The utility is there, but still 2 players in backside. G2 choose not to plant the spike just yet. Instead, taking their time.
There's a flank working, but still a standoff on the site itself.
These smokes are going to come down soon. And G2 are not comfortable by any means. Melissa, it's a double swing, SRN!
Spike down A.
Tears open this round, the flank will come on in, and it's Petra in a one-on-one. Is she just going back into spawn? Can she even do this? Oh no! SRN straight through the box goes ballistic! Oh my word, that is a statement from MIBR.
It was the near perfect half for G2.
Look at both maps they very easily could have won. Slipped away from them in overtime. Definitely going to be that weight hanging over them.
They'll show something aggro on the pistol round here. Walk the chamber down mid with the Neon to help. But MIBR, you know them. They like their faster plays. They're going to keep it simple towards A to start.
High haunt broken by Bastarda. G2 have taken so much control on the map. Amy has already stepped into tiles. Doesn't have an angle here necessarily with the trip watching the flank.
MIBR, they are full contacting this, but that gives time for this chamber to walk fully into their flank.
Oh, steps into the trip, and now MIBR send 2 players to deal with the flanker. As they go into the site, and G2 instantly activate. Akita hasn't really found anything, but the rest of her team has. G2 getting wild onto the site. And just like that, the round is over. G2 can win a pistol.
And that is the problem with going for these very slow rounds where you don't have any insurance on this map. G2, from the very start of the round, they were walking Akita and Amy into mid. They very quickly realized that there's nothing home there. And before MIBR can even try to commit to this execute, they're completely enveloped and they just get decimated by Akita on the site.
Big too that G2 can just win a pistol round. It's been somewhat of a struggle in this tournament. It was certainly a struggle in that last match they just played. Can start off on a good foot here.
And I think playing this chamber comp is great for a few reasons. One, chamber is awesome because initiators are so much worse.
Yeah.
But
well, Melissa just got a kill, so
yeah.
Checkmate.
That
Point
is
refuted.
checkmate, indeed. They're walled off now. That's the beauty of the Sage. They only wanted an orb, but they're happy to get a kill as well. But look, there's not going to be many tools to push Amy off this line, so she can play very proactive, continue to pressure over there. And on the other side, we have Sage util. And 8 seconds again with the slow. Now here comes Amy. So while she doesn't get the kill, does have to retreat and does it safely.
I'm a little nervous right now about G2.
Yeah.
Getting forced off the angle, taken low on the chamber.
How does G2 reply now? They still have B main control, but they're worried that there was a lurk going on through mid. There isn't really, at least not an active one yet.
Right now, Amy is all alone on the A site. 2 players are getting called back, rotating through spawn to assist.
Yeah.
They are going to be here in time.
There will be a lurk coming through as well. I agree with you. I'm a little scared.
Viper Wall not really doing MIBR too many favors. They have to come on through here with just the dark cover to protect. And now Vanya jumps through the smoke after the Seas falls down. And
No more dreams.
with some bodies and with some guns, G2 can pick up the kills they need.
MIBR might get a plant. They're going to run towards B.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop them, really.
I mean, take those little wins, yeah. Melissa already
10
with
seconds
4
left.
ult orbs as well. We'll have a 5th off the plant. See if Bastarda can get anything done with this classic. I like the way G2 have just ignored Boba completely. Work in all together through market now. That classic, hard to deal damage with it. The range Bastarda is playing from. Melissa, the hope for MIBR with this Spectre.
Last player standing.
A good swing and maybe a shock dart for some extra damage, but as Amy posts up with the Bulldog, G2 will take their second round.
So no need to fear in the end, even if it got a bit close. That round was a great example of how this comp dominates the respective mains. The Sage full slowing one side, the Chamber posturing up on the other. MIBR, they don't have a huge amount of tools to clear off with only that Sova in the mix. So I think all this first half is going to be about how they can bait out the Chamber to TP and how they can bait out the Sage to use her 2 slows in the wall.
And I think seeing things like the slide double swing to clear mains is really important when there could be a chamber there. So you can always have the quick trade or even just contact walking forward find windows to punish the
Ooh,
Sage.
look at this play. There'll be an Omen TP down mid fast as the Neon fights into A main, masking an operator behind it.
Yeah, it's crazy. G2 going for the op, saved up for that one. And now looking to run this idea, as you said. There's the teleport. Vanya in front of the dart, but already some return fire.
And look, that whole A main fight was just to get the op posted. Now they're going to call back into a B stack,
Beautiful.
and there's the op in play.
And that could have been the lurk with Lisa playing on her Viper wall. Now MIBR have to work into mid, where a Prowler doesn't see anything. That smoke on the right side makes it very hard for G2 to get information back in that mid space.
MIBR found the right gap in this one. Working into market.
Oh, there could be a brutal timing caught right here. This fight into market. I believe Vanya figured it out and is now swinging on the other side of this wall. Posts up right on top of screen. SRN will secure the shot. And now comes straight into the site. Mimi has nowhere really to go, but SRN is stunning herself. Slows down this take of the site. Means Mimi has a chance here. With the pistol in hand, MIBR have nice spacing. Very few opportunities to G2.
And now G2 have to retake with an operator.
Well, we'll see. Might just be playing for the pick and waiting to get numbers before committing on in. Good swing from Petra. And the trade from Melissa too.
You see how conflicted Amy is. Wants to get involved somehow, but also doesn't want to lose the gun.
One enemy remaining.
Great hold. Now Akita maybe thinking about grabbing the operator, also thinking about playing the round. Does she want this? It's a big commitment. After spending for the operator, she pulls off the kill. The Bulldog is not enough for the instant kill.
I think they got caught in their decision there. They wanted initially, it looked like, to play passive, just let the two players go. But then they get that pick. Amy feels like she can do something and ends up the worst of both worlds where she loses the round and the off.
Now, it sounds really bad losing that operator, but it is worth noting that Amy, with 5 kills already in 3 rounds, is just 1 away from the Tour de Force.
Nice! Back up, back up, back up, back up.
Oh, SRN wanted that off, and she's got it. And the attack Neon operator.
Big stack from G2 into main. Oh, we're just fighting forward, teleporting up top. Up her own paranoia, Vanya, what an angle! And now instantly out.
The slow keeps the traders away as well.
And Amy pops the ultimate. She doesn't leave B main. The rest of her team says, you can lock that down for us.
And this is great because G2 can now call back into a stack towards A. Just leave the chamber for info on the other side.
MIBR have some ideas of their own to play for the lurks. 2 geared up for mid right now. Shock dart sent to break the trip in market, I believe.
I don't think it got it. But that's big. Push Amy off the line, bait out her TP.
This fight in mid could blow everything up, especially if Sayuri can win those out. A Hunter's Fury coming out for main as well as Bastarda. And now that shot does not connect. Bastarda solidifies position into the site. Working forward. Sees a player pop up. Bastarda weathering the storm, falls down, and Vanya with 3 to win the round.
Very nicely held on to by G2 there. I think they showed again nice ideas to start these rounds.
That early aggro flame B main was sweet.
They're Paper X posting with this one. Sage wall boost up, Omen TP's on top of it. And you see that little extra piece there, the slow orb means no one else can swing in to help. Now MIBR get caught off. Sarah nearly turned that around though. If she stays alive in mid there, and suddenly they're into the site, could have been a different world. Instead, G2 are back, and they've reset the money for MIBR.
MIBR just gonna send it at A, but I believe that was
Where is Sayori going? Look, she's TP'd double into the site.
Yeah, but has to do everything on her own while her teammates are running through one ways.
My ult is ready.
So it's not gonna do much.
That makes it a little harder to actually get your value there, and well, poor Melissa already getting flanked in a 1v4.
Okay, somebody shoot her.
One day.
This is getting ridiculous. Mimi will get it. There we go. All right, and a few extra.
So G2 not only win that round, but I think should have money to get another up for Amy here. MIBR are going to call a timeout. I think the #1 thing to solve is what I was talking about before with how you play into these two sentis on the extremity. But what G2 is doing so well is spicing that up by showing these early round set plays. So if you're MIBR, you not only have to think, are they going for one of their aggro looks, but also, how do we actually deal with the Sage and the Chamber util that is basically a requirement to do anything else?
Honestly, I'm not even sure if it has to be so complicated for MIBR to like match those main fights.
Sure.
You know, you absolutely can do that if SRN is feeling it and wants to punish the Chamber, but just as easily you can give that forward space, fight for mid, try to threaten blowing up the map, and then moving back in with your scouting utility later in the round, as opposed to falling into these traps. That's back-to-back rounds where G2 have just had 3 players ready for the fight in mains.
Absolutely, but G2 have also had solid solutions into mid. I think their market anchors have done a really great job of locking that area down, because MIBR have shown rounds where they're taking that mid control. But that doesn't mean it's not the solution. I do agree with you that that is the best solve to not get caught out into these ideas on either extremity.
Think about it, G2 was wildly effective when they were running some of the aggro looks on bind on defense too.
Well, G2 has expected this. They have 2 fighters ready in mid.
Highly likely, Amy's just gonna jump over onto the ledge with the teleport ready. As she does, dart up, broken for her. Now Amy can look at tiles. She's protected from the swing top mid because of the pillar right in the middle of the yard. Also from Akita, jiggling on the angle. This is quiet from MIBR.
Pretty early wall from G2 thrown up. That'll go down at about 50 seconds.
Probably because they're playing so much for mid, they don't have the forward info they would usually have on the A side of the map. And so...
Oh, this timing.
Oh, this drone is going to be punished. Here goes Akita. Nothing Melissa can do about that. No one even protecting it, because MIBR was walking 3 players over to A to push a player off this line.
With her death, though, they realize something's up in mid, find the weaker side on A. But still, G2 were always set up to retake. They have Petra's ult to do it.
And Bastarda is positioned potentially to cut off the rotate. Now a scouting ultimate from Vanya spots 3 players. G2 can react to this one. Oh my god, Vanya up on top of the box. Can peer straight over the smoke. Forces a safer plant out of MIBR. And now the fight coming up into Link from SRN. No one's here. Nightfall dodge from SRN. Akita sliding into the site. Sayuri finds her mark. And now dancing on opposite ends of the site. Inside of 2 separate smokes. It'll be Vanya on the first kill. G2 need to see some enemies, need to see something before Bastarda just tears them all down. 3 in the round for both. A fort needed, Bastarda will take it for MIBR.
A huge step up from her. The player who got dropped by Team Liquid in the mid-season. Had to find a new team and found it in the squad that was previously her rival. After coming into this roster, has immediately found success, both individually and with the team too.
Yeah, been a duelist player now. Well, she can play the Yoru on this map, forced on Cypher duty, but still making it look fun.
Sarda is a great read for G2, but MIBR, the clutch plays, that's the difference.
Up into elbow, Amy getting danced on a little bit with quick teleport away. SRN ready to go into this site, not worried about smokes, has the assistance of her team behind her, now sliding back into elbow. Amy has this crossfire with Petra. Bastarda left in a 1-on-2. Left in the clutch once more.
Careful now.
She knows where 1 is with the trap wire on the flank.
And also hurt Akita earlier as well.
They're really gonna make her do it again.
But I like this. G2 would have heard the trip go down. Won't expect Bastarda to be playing right on top of it. Bastarda chips away at Akita. Now swings back in for it. Mimi will send her packing.
And G2 hold on. After winning a clutch, MIBR try a very fast round. But you can see the G2 anchors were ready. Look at how Amy plays this, dealing with SRN on the dive. And then the crossfire with Petra.
Really snappy there between the 2 angles.
Yeah, she still got it.
Let's go! Nice! We have
camera.
Oh yeah, playing up for it a little bit. So MIBR, they're going to be broke after losing that round, and G2 again shift their setup, now putting the chamber over towards B. MIBR have really favored these A hits. So G2 want to show a new look of how to dominate that main control.
Oh, Amy saw a shoulder.
Okay, top mid control. These are great rounds to deal with the Sentis, but Petra, she's so ready for it.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
No issues there.
And how the hell are you ever going to get into B with the Sage there, with the chamber there?
You're gonna say you're not. I'm gonna say you're gonna think about some options for the future. You know, it's a little bit odd from MIBR. I'm trying to get a read on how they're playing this map. And I just really feel like that round, of course, you have two players peeking into top mid, but a lot of things you normally see teams do, breaking the market door in early rounds. Challenging through this smoke to break chamber utility just hasn't really been coming down.
Casual Petra 4K.
Yeah, you know.
She'll do that sometimes.
Flawless for G2, but yeah.
It is strange because you think that with the Viper in the comp, you want to play a very slow control style and let Vistarda and Issa work lurks on the extremities. But when you're playing into double Senti, it's so hard to actually get up on either of those angles because you're walled off or there's a chamber in your face.
Yummy! I love Eco Frags.
And then if you ever want to step up the pace, you don't really have a ton of tools to accelerate unless SRN can just go beast mode off of Paranoia.
Lisa's also been putting both her wall and her orb in A main. It's always been about these A fights for them, truthfully.
And at least that's meant that a chamber up has never been a risk. Here's another boost.
A different one this time. At the same time, Amy is all the way through B main. Ready for any players to step up.
Yeah, and she can still TP back from here. This is a safe position to play.
G2, after not seeing anything, set back up for the refight on A. I love this mid-rounding from G2. They have so much forward information they can go for this fight. 1-for-1 at the start. Now Lisa on the side. MIBR, we're waiting for it. Not going to fall victim this time around.
She has a res, but she doesn't have a wall to do it safely.
Yeah, good luck. And now, all three players from G2 revealed. That means Sayuri knows she can blow up the map straight through top mid. G2 had no util waiting for it.
All the way around.
Yeah, sending Bastarda as well. But it gives G2 a chance to go for this fight in A main again with two players.
They're trying the res.
Oh no, and a stun immediately answers. Here comes Bastarda. Oh no, the shots, where are they? Nobody can find them.
Sayuri
back into the site, but there's another player back on slant. This round is an absolute mess. Defense here. Akita looking down on MIBR. And G2 will have another.
I need to wash my mouth out after that round. That was...
I need to wash my eyes out.
That was gross. Oh, the whiff from Bastarda. That was the round for MIBR. They get the Cypher ultimate. Find the perfect way to break into mid. But in a 4-on-3, it all falls apart.
One enemy remaining.
They sound hyped.
Yeah, I'd be too. And MIBR have nothing now. On to another eco. This is G2 running away with the half. And I really think that G2 is just out-calling them right now. The Sentinels are shutting down the extremities. When MIBR tries something else into mid or to re-clear into one, G2 are still so proactive. They're showing us these wall boost looks, the re-clear that they tried that round. They constantly have that next step. So Sayuri and the team at MIBR, they just can't get a read on what this defense ever actually is.
I think the concerning thing is a few rounds ago I would say, oh, MIBR just need to solve the start of their rounds.
Sure.
But it almost feels like because G2 are getting so much information round after round after round, because MIBR are playing so back, you know, and not containing the space, it means that G2 can call these great mid-rounds.
And that's because of the conditioning early with those set plays off the rip you're talking about.
Exactly. MIBR a little bit spooked, it seems like, waiting for players of G2 to step forward. But really, I think Amy has just been leaning over towards the B site so consistently. Finally now the read from MIBR is to play into mid. Sayuri is just ulting back into spawn. inside of dark cover. It's answered on the other side of things as Vanya pivots back over to B. And now 2 players from MIBR in spawn. Akita pinching down at the back of MIBR. This time Bastarda wins the fight. A nightfall into Bova. With Hunter's Fury to boot. Amy with 2 kills through the wall. Switches over to the Sheriff. And it's still all right as Mimi sees another body. This round could have gotten a little bit more wild for MIBR.
But now it's all but over. There's a wall up in the face of Melissa. The spike is down elsewhere. And G2 have held firm. I like the idea of this eco round of trying to blow up mid control, get a deep TP. I think it's something to explore more, but again, G2, they turn, they figure out the fight, and it's another proactive refight from Akita, sliding out into mid with that stun.
G2 responding really well, whether it's the quick opening rounds or the slower ones.
He does have a gun now.
Standing ahead.
Dart out, she's gonna swing with it, but Vanya not baited at all by that dart.
All good. 8-2 now for G2. They are rolling this defense. What have MIBR figured out?
Well, my concern is because they ran the mid aggro look, either that's the read out of the timeout and they're gonna play the next 2 rounds like that, in which case G2 have a perfect preview of it, or that was just a throwaway and they're gonna go back to old habits and fight for A main again.
Yeah. I mean, to their credit, they're always getting A main. It's just, the problem is when the reclears come in, when G2 dominates mid.
It's a Sage wall boost, I believe a double boost for these 2 players. As soon as the smoke comes in, boost on over it. MIBR didn't see this last time. And some fire down on Sayuri, takes her to 30.
That is a big investment to use your Sage wall at the beginning of the round, but here comes the next layer, Chris.
And look at A. Exactly, but it's a different Viper wall this time. It helps them out on site instead of just fighting over from main, but this time, G2 blow them up and Mimi just holds her own.
It's the same script round after round. MIBR play a slow start of round, they try and get into an extremity, G2 re-clear and dominate them.
And I love that G2 don't spend forever on top of that Sage wall. A lot of teams when they run something like this, they invest 400 creds to get the wall
sunk
boost.
Cost fallacy.
That player never leaves. But instead, G2 show that and then instantly rotate away because they know that MIBR is not going to re-swing and challenge that ridiculous angle. That is never favoring the player down on bot mid.
But if you're in rank, they'll always re-swing. Stay up there. 99% get off the wall right before they swing.
You know, this was G2's map pick, but I really do feel like, even compared to their bind, it is a very different level of just like set protocols and understanding of how to dominate defense on this map. On bind, it was a lot of just running aggro plays that were put together, and they either worked or they didn't. This one is a little bit less all in, a little bit less committed, so you get to see some of the mid-rounding prowess of Mimi.
Yeah, it wasn't always her on this
10
role.
seconds
Switched
left.
into it, I believe, last year. And
It was right before GCC last year because Petra had been IGLing all year long, and then
even while she was playing the Duelist, and had to switch on to that.
we were all surprised because we were calling Petra the Duelist heading into GCC last year, and then she was like, "Wait, no, that's not what I do anymore." Mimi took that job from me.
This is the new me, and I'm not the IGL anymore. And after not showing the operator since, I think, round 3 whatsoever, this is the time where G2 go back to normal and Amy buys it.
I kind of forgot the operator was an option.
And it's normally like the reason you pick the chamber. No, it's still here. And,
Okay.
And after seeing so many A lurks, she'll now solo hold that aggro and have a Sage to back up if needed.
Well, better late than never. MIBR ready to take some mid space.
Wahoo.
I tell a lie. I've never been more disappointed. I've been waiting for this all
And
they're
G2's
stepping
read
into the
it.
B main trap. How has Mimi just read every single thing MIBR have literally ever tried? I'll tell you why. It's because Chamber always has forward information. And MIBR are always dodging her.
Akita's going to get in the close corner. This is going to cook.
I think B main is where the fight is coming. Vanya spots it. Akita, calm, not swinging off the paranoia.
And she still has a stun.
Bastard has been left inside of this smoke. But she just steps through and spins on a dime. That's a way to steal around.
If you want to talk about a comeback, you need at least 9-3. That's a good start.
And Amy had fallen off of the forward line. Plays it on the other side of this wall. Jumping Neon. Taken out of the round. Mimi's already rotated over with a wall down on the left approach. Now it's easy for G2 to just look at elbow, except for the pit.
Seconds left.
But MIBR are leaving. The spike is actually heading back towards B. Finally, some late round ideas from MIBR, but they're a little bit slow. Petra has come into Boba, and his kill comes down from Mimi. Cuts away at the lurk opportunity. Petra chooses to play for numbers. Give the spike plant over to MIBR. How do they set up?
Spike
On a
planted.
retake, they'll bide their time. Petra has the Fade Haunt to go. It all comes down to the crossfire. Sayori and Bastarda on the site.
But MIBR do not have backside control. There's not a lot of space for them to play with, especially with the pressure coming through from that smoke. Ballista has to support back from main. Listen, the team have to light it up. It's not enough just yet. Sayori in a 1-on-2. Coming out from both sides. G2 will take 10 rounds in this opening half.
Just an incredible showing from them. A masterclass in the calling from Mimi, showing aggressive refights in the mid-round, constantly reading into the exact setup from MIBR.
And all things considered, this is what the second half of Bind also looked like if G2 just didn't slip in those last couple of rounds. G2 in the last two halves have been the better team.
Yes, come on.
But it's still them with their backs against the wall.
They still have to prove that they can close out, that they can be the ones to fight back. But for this halftime, a special guest, we have Bastarda's best friend, Belina, standing by with Bella.
안녕하세요, 벨라입니다. 오늘은 니콜님과 함께 MIBR 응원가를 무슨 뜻인지 좀 한번 불러볼 수 있는지 들어보려고 하는데요. Hi guys, I'm standing with Nicole. The song you guys were chanting, I have to ask, what are you guys saying? And can you teach me a verse?
Yes, we were actually praying, and apparently it went really, really well in that first map, so we're probably gonna do it again. And we were actually chanting Nossa Senhora me dê a mão. So you can try it.
Nossa Senhora
Me dê a mão.
me dê a mão.
Perfect.
Perfect. Alright. 이게 사실 기도인데 계속해서 할 때마다 라운드를 따내서 계속해서 기도를 할 거라고 이야기를 해줬습니다. Alright. Hopefully I'll get to master it. Alright.
Yeah, of course, and we can do it here, and they can win the second map.
Alright. Love that. Thank you, Nicole. And that is it.
Do you want to try, Christy?
I've already forgotten it.
Do you not remember?
I don't remember.
Do you want to try anyway?
No, that is not. You please be my guest,
No,
Mimi.
no. I wouldn't after asking you to do it. I feel like that would be rude.
Okay, well, it just seems like you just don't support MIBR, is what it sounds like.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah,
I don't
because you're not
support
going to
any
cheer for
team
them.
because I'm so unbiased.
Wow. See, I support
You're what I
all
support.
teams. I support all teams
You
personally.
support all teams?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Coinbase Econ Report is something that I can be in support of.
Yeah. Oh,
There it
let's
is.
bring it up. How about that? I mean, the real the hero of this half has been Vanya. Vanya picked up in the second half of Bind, had the back-to-back 4Ks, had quite a few more after that, sitting 16-6 currently.
Yeah, she had a monster game. And it's true of map 1 as well. It's also true of this tournament as a whole. I have been so impressed with Vanya. It's not the first time for her. You think when she showed up with previous events with BBL Queens and in her first year last year with G2 as well, was always excellent.
Is it just objectively funny that Vanya has like done way more damage to like literally the Omen than all 5 players combined, essentially?
It's an Omen diff, I suppose.
That's actually crazy. Sayori's not even having a bad game. It just, when it comes to that head-to-head, Vanya absolutely clearing. And the crazy thing about this map too is that G2 literally did this yesterday.
Yes.
Like, map 2 was a 13-2 on Haven.
Wait, Christy, what if we're just running the inverse of yesterday's series?
Oh my god, and it's a
an
stomp for
overtime into a
MIBR.
Stomp.
Oh, please
But it's
don't.
split. It's split. The rule of all bangers end on split might
It's true.
supersede.
Yes, and okay, maybe spectating the wrong player here. MIBR setting up for a fight in top mid.
Here we go,
As the wall
fast break.
comes
You didn't
down.
elbow. What are you laughing about?
I'm not laughing about anything. G2, 5 players here. No misdirection. Not gonna be stun locked. SRN comes out. MIBR. It's not gonna be a 13-2. No way. No way. Surely not.
Vanya is alive, but now walled off by their own teammate Sagewall as MIBR regroup towards spawn.
Wait, are they just gonna leave? Is that an option?
It is an option, certainly.
I mean, after putting down the Sage Wall, you would have thought that might have been good enough to get the plants. They're going on a long, long walkway. The Omen smoke is interesting because it really discourages MIBR stepping through. Means that G2 could be anywhere on the site, so it's actually giving them a lot of time to go for this rotate.
Here's the problem, though. Cypher cam, you're going to be tapping that. There's also a trip they have to get through. They won't beat them there, sure, but it's very nice tools to make this retake happen.
Now in the post plant, do G2 play in front of that Viper wall? And honestly, Bastarda could save the camera for the post plant to see if anyone's in front of that wall.
I mean, Chrissy Akita is just going on her own.
I mean, this is very far forward. Classic, though, and 2 players ready for the double swing. Akita resets the aim and stuns herself on the way out. All right.
Still, it's Vanya. 1v3, but she is a beast. And there is no smoke to block her off.
Has the armor, has a ghost. And that spike out in the open. It's a little bit awkward as SRN's just jumping around. No one's watching main. They hadn't dealt with backside. Vanya, ready for another 1v4. The shock dart won't give her the chance.
Time's low.
No, Melissa has this one.
Yeah, just with
I mean, I can't hear anything right now, but it'll be all right. Half a second. No problems. MIBR will take their third.
Only got a little scary at the end. But that is what wins it. All 3 players swinging in. They had opened towards mid.
And it was like a half-second window before the wall gets placed and goes up that those kills come in, and it ruins the round for G2.
Everyone, G2 is looking right because they're waiting for that wall to come, the smoke to bloom. And, well, a shock dart means you don't have to swing into Vanya, which is a happy outcome for MIBR.
I think MIBR will be working on not swinging into Vanya throughout this half. I think that might be the solution to coming back.
Certainly a start. Petra's just hanging out on B. Will his teammates contact FA?
There they are.
Unfortunately, all 4 just got darted.
It's interesting, but just look at the way the map is being played. It's very different how G2 were always fighting over mains. MIBR very willing to fall back.
Well, I think the biggest reason you see that is because look at MIBR's comp. They're playing Cypher Viper in current year.
Yeah.
It's very strange to see them sticking to their guns on this Cypher choice.
The thing is, though, I feel like usually you would be seeing MIBR play one weak side of the map with the Cypher Viper over on B, and then the other side could be fighting a little bit more aggressively. I think because SRN has the Outlaw and wants to play posted in market, means they don't have many options to go on the offensive.
Nice things about this comp. You do have great stall util added with this Viper.
Yeah, that one way there is super annoying.
Yeah, and then on the other side, you have a great wall to flood back into. When you're doing your B retakes, you can almost always hold on the backside control.
Akita's just running through that, full blinded. And now 3 players are jumping out. Somehow it's even. The paranoia means Akita wrapped all the way back around through spawn. Hold on. MIBR, you cannot let this happen to you. SRN has to clear this angle with the Outlaw. Slowed down by a reload. That started with the spam, okay. It's even again, but not with Akita in the picture. Stepping on out, G2 steal away the MasterCard Thrifty, and it should be smooth sailing from here on out.
Okay. That is a very nice round from Akita. She goes around the world there. Starting off with the fight upstairs. You can see it here. Just the ghost. That was against a bulldog from Sayori. She gets that kill, picks up the gun, and then as this paranoia comes in, and no one can hear anything, she's rapping on Melissa.
But here's, I think, the issue with how MIBR were playing the A side. It's way easier to play and play for trades, play for good spacing when you're fighting over a small point on the map. It's much harder when you're
right here.
I think G2 sneak up on you. So MIBR sees the reins over this round. 2 players in tiles already.
Every round that G2 has wanted it, they've had a main control because MIBR is not contesting at all like you're talking about. And they have it again here. What they've traded for that space is mid.
Good stun comes out. It's just very hard because you'll see MIBR very isolated, now have to regroup 3 players in back spawn, blocked away by a smoke. But G2's flank is vulnerable. Vanya, the only player watching that. Some good shock darts from Damage, but that flank about to come online. Vanya, cold as ever. Now dodging away from the stun, chooses to fight this angle, and might have been a mistake. It won't really matter with the rest of G2, just completely locking down this site.
You will not kill my allies.
Going for the res here. As much to guarantee this round as it is to guarantee a rifle being carried over into the next.
When you watch MIBR play their attack, they constantly had to solve this puzzle of the Sage in the chamber. They are so oppressive in the way that they lock down mains that just those two agents alone can be set at the task while the rest of G2 is going elsewhere to fight and play however they want on the defense. You switch over and you look at the composition for MIBR, and instead they have so many fewer tools to do that same fight. They're a lot more reliant on a passive Cypher setup one side, leaning more into 4-1s on the other. And G2 realized that A was weak. They just ran it over to start this half. And now they're one away from closing this game.
But winning that round 2 just means SRN's never really going to be able to buy an op in this half. So brutal. And it's sort of not giving SRN a chance to find some redemption after a tough first half. G2, contact on into the site, place down a wall for Market. Bastarda with the judge. Send some help for Bastarda. She's having a game. Against all odds here. It's guaranteed backside control for MIBR. MIBR biding their time as Paranoia comes in. Wall being broken down. Still holding the ground in the backside. Hold on. Util out in hand. Amy gets a kill. Now inside of this smoke. G2 so uncomfortable, so worried to teleport into backside. Might have been too much. MIBR up numbers now, still in firm hold of backside. G2 can't plant this spike unless Amy wins every single fight, but it's Bastarda onto a third, and MIBR take this force round by.
And that is what they want with this composition, to be able to always hold backside control. What makes it so hard for G2. I think if you're G2, a solve you think of for that is playing into mid control and Sage walling off Market so that not having backside isn't as big of an issue. But when you wall off Market and you don't have backside, you are just stuck like woman standing emoji in the open front sight, and it's so hard to actually win that.
Wall being pinged up by a Cypher trip. It's not a good position to be in.
And there's 4 stingers swinging into you.
Yeah.
I'd expect them to change how they play that if they go back into B in the future.
See if they end there on this round. Right now, Amy with an Outlaw is just going to be working over onto B main.
That's a good spot.
Part of the reason I like this comp when we're talking about attack is how much agency it gives Amy. You're able to take risks that no one else really does on the lurk when you're chamber.
It's a very early drone. At a minute 20 seconds from Melissa. Now, very few options to find forward information, especially as Market door is broken down and as smoke is placed. There's always the threat, though, with this Viper wall going up that someone could step out of the Market door. That's why Amy wants to get right in front of this wall. Now out of range of her teleport. On a bit of mission. Sees a player, can step back into it. Now has that get out of jail free. But nowhere really to advance behind this. Still blocked off by that trip.
Yeah, she's just trying to provide some pressure here. TP goes back towards spawn, so G2 want to pivot,
Whoa,
but
whoa, whoa.
Amy...
Melissa just steps right into it. Needed the headshot for the kill. And now with 25 seconds left, coming into 3 players on this B side with no B main control. Akita is going to need to deal with this Cypher right on the other side of this wall. There's so much utility down on her. Bastarda digs her heels in with Lisa. With no time left on the clock, Sayuri filtering back into the site.
10 seconds left.
Sayuri has a chance here to just take everyone down. MIBR not going down without a fight, as Mimi is swarmed, and another round taken.
Very good reaction out of MIBR. That's exactly the adaptation I wanted to see G2 make to playing B, where they're walling Market instead. But feeling that pressure of the chamber fighting up on the flank, MIBR instead play their players close into main. And manage to fight together there instead, killing G2 as they come out onto the site from Market. And just credit to Sayuri. Such beautiful shots from her. She had an amazing map one as well.
Now G2 are going to be calling a timeout here. And on the attack side, I feel like they've just been running into so many problems in the post plant on B there. They just need one round.
Yes.
Do they adjust how they want to take into the B site? do they just avoid it entirely? Is that a viable option?
Yeah, it's certainly a viable option. I think that you just want to play a slower round and get some main control and then just work them out a little bit. The thing is, Chrissy, even if they lose the next 4 rounds in a row, you just wait until you have 5 ults and then you guarantee the win.
Okay. So if you're the coach, you're just like, I don't care what you do, just don't waste your ult.
No, I think I'd call around and
Yeah,
then
you'd
also
offer
say,
a little bit more
I
than that.
care what you do, but don't waste your ult. And I even care about you, dear player.
Right, because if you were the coach of a team, you would support that team.
I would.
I know you currently support none of the players on stage, but
Well, that's an interesting way to phrase it.
your words, not mine. Would you support MIBR to make a comeback?
I would support a comeback in that I think it's fun to watch.
Okay.
I would
Very
be more supportive
fence-sitting of you.
I would be more supportive of maybe a fake comeback into a map 3.
Okay. Generous. We give the viewers a little bit more to work with here.
A bit of a taste. Let's see what G2 are up to, though.
Viper's Pit spent on the anti-eco here, just locking down B main.
Yeah. I think the answer will be to actually answer your question.
Oh,
I think
please do that.
Yeah, I think exploring A is good. With this more standard comp, you're always going to be able to do this. Slide in, go up, push Sayori away. Now she's in trouble and running.
But the counter Hunter's Fury, I mean, just allows SRN to step forward here.
Spike down A.
Gives an advantage of one player. Still has control over A for MIBR.
But Chrissy, if I'm G2, not only do I feel supported, but I'm happy that they just used their ult on our eco round.
That's true. That's two ultimates. The Viper's Pit actually falling in B main. Very early rotation from Lisa.
Cover going
Is interesting. Now Paranoia forces Sayori back shoulder to shoulder with Melissa. And the wall over Link might be enough to get the plant. The smoke is a problem though with that ping coming on through. Sayori looking for a little bit of spam. Shock Dart kills the planter. So now Akita will pick up that spike. G2 don't really have any options, don't have anywhere to go. At this point, the Sage Wall boxes them into the site as much as it keeps MIBR out. Vanya with a good shot and a couple. Surely this is not how we do it here. Not another Vanya 3K,
Really
not
should
another
be
Vanya
this
4K. Not with 7 HP. Vanya on for the ace. Vanya waiting. Sees the gun! Vanya aces us into a 3rd map.
That wasn't supposed to be the round they won. But Vanya casually ends Sunset. The number of kills in...
Back up there, but G2 and MIBR have packed the stadium in their own right. Split will be the final destination for this series, and MIBR start out on attack.
MIBR likes quicker rounds, but this one they feign that it's going to be their fast A and instead walk back towards mid and B.
Yeah, putting down that vertical attack A wall. Vanya, though, has been killer all day long. Both series currently alone on backside as MIBR coming quickly.
She had some rounds anchoring B. This time she has to pull back. G2 will flood.
Yeah, dropping out from heaven. The same time, Vanya looks for this swing. Smokes have divvied up these members of MIBR. G2 are finding their mark. No bullets, though, means Bastarda can secure 2 of their own and up
they're
through mid.
leaving back into this lurk, but it's dead by Mimi. That's so big from her. And now she'll continue this push. She'll encircle them in the 2-on-2.
MIBR taking their time. Vanya now around the side is perfect.
Spike down B.
Not looking the right direction, but you better kill her in one shot or she will make you suffer. Now Bastarda.
Time to jump.
Saw Mimi in mid. Has to pick up the spike, and Mimi has arrived to take another pistol for G2.
Such a great flood there from G2. I love that they're throwing that same anchor smoke that Vanya throws backside, but the way that it ends up working is that SRN, who dove backside to try and punish if there was an Astra there, gets cut off on one side, while the rest of the team is cut on the other, and G2 do a great job of isolating those fights together. Even though it comes down to the clutch, you know that they're good for it.
Yes! Let's go!
And that they're excited for it. G2 hyped after Mimi and Vanya closed out that pistol.
Oh, we're quick up with the Bucky, but Mimi is playing a little bit too far away. all-knowing. Had the flank in the last round, has the read. Play a little deeper there.
They've seen plays like that from MIBR. SRN loves the double satchel on the eco.
All good. Bastarda got the orb over in B main. Do they have any positioning on the map? No. Do they have a chance maybe to come into heaven? There is a gap for the time being.
G2's very aware of this. They're jiggling up towards heaven. They have it well contained. They just don't want to play too close of angles into the anti-eco.
MIBR have done 2 rounds in a row throwing this vertical A-wall. Expect them to start changing that in the coming rounds, but they are a team that likes to run their execs.
And I think in particular their A exec is very good on this map. I love what the Omen brings to the mix, having that third dive agent. Sayori will almost always be diving into the smoke, A heaven. Well, SRN and Bastarda kind of change their pathing a little bit around it, making it very overwhelming for site anchors.
That's actually one of the reasons why we're probably going to see the Viper Wall change, is so that we start throwing Omen smokes up there to give a little bit more protection for those aggro TPs out of Sayori. And good night, Mimi. Okay.
That's what you were expecting, right?
I mean, they could let Bastarda live.
10 seconds
I
left.
will always support letting the player live and ruining their econ. G2 are running away. Bastarda does not have enough time to pick up the spike and get to the site and plant it, which is exactly what she needed to do. So now Bastarda is stuck with the Spectre going into the next round. And also is 2 away from ult instead of just 1 pip away.
Yep. And if you don't know, it means she's getting the minimum money that you can. If you die, you get your proper loss bonus, everything is all good. Now, you live there and you're stuck with the Spectre, and you only have 1,900 credits in the bank because of it. Very nice from that.
Enemy remaining.
So it actually makes this bonus round from G2 a little bit more dangerous. Bastarda was actually given a rifle, and Sayori will have to be forced to hold on to that Spectre for now. Mimi pushed off the line.
That might be our hold off on any faster hits for now. So that starts strong towards mid, as G2 have already asserted a key to up into A. They can just leave her embedded with the Judge and stack heavier elsewhere on the map.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to play in front of that Viper Wall. There's no early fighting. Now Vanya baiting out for Mimi in the corner. Mimi set up a teleport. Sayori doesn't clear it all the way! It's a 1-for-1, it's okay.
The issue is that's their smoke's dead, so if they want to go into B, they don't have anything, and instead they want to go into A, which is where the Judge is!
Judge, these shots connect. And now there's no lurk. Now you're forced to go in here with only 3 players. Bastarda doesn't have the ult because she didn't die in the last round. That could have helped out bigly. And now Vanya
Down B.
has a couple more to her name. It is insult to injury here. SRN in the 1-on-3. Paint shells flush her out into the open. Heaps of utility being hurled at her. And there's nothing she can do about it. Another 3-piece from Vanya.
And that is one mistake cascading into a round loss. Your smokes die in main because you don't clear a corner. That's this. Then your lurker feels the pressure to aggro up towards A because you have a Viper Wall there to actually exec. She guides the Judge, and at that point, 3v5, you will never win a B hit with no smokes 3v5.
So MIBR forced onto an eco, changing their Viper Wall now.
Cutting through.
Just sending 5 players over towards ramps early on. Good night.
I've been so impressed with Petra's mechanics this tournament. I think she's really locked in for this event. One of those players that I feel like always steps up when she gets to play LAN, play in that environment that she's been competing in for literally 10 years.
Of course, when you say it, she will drop.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a little gap here inside of the smoke. Lucky for MIBR, they've gotten past that gap for now. Unluckily for them, there is a crossfire being set up.
But Mimi is low.
I don't know if it matters. With that pick coming down over in B main, though, Sayori is going to be able to sprint over to the B side and get a plant.
This is scary, though. There's going to be an orb available in the post plant. Sayori Keep up with their teammate, but they're slow to actually get this spike down. It's taking a lot of time for Sayori to get here, so all 3 members of G2 ready to go.
I like Lisa playing for Heaven on this one. And it's going to make it so hard for G2 to get out of this choke point. Lisa not going to be victim to any flashes. Now pops on through, headshot through the wall. Falling back, Sayori connects. Now caught falling down. Hold on, G2 just carved their way out of that one. As MIBR fall back and Akita gives them the business.
Oh yeah, she does. It was just an eco to start, but MIBR had a very real chance. Yeah. Opening up that gap to pivot back into B.
I
Give
think
themselves a post plant.
the problem is so there's a clone sent into Heaven, and I wonder if the noise of that made MIBR a little bit more worried about getting backstabbed by a player up door.
Yeah, hence why Lisa stayed there a little bit later, wasn't there to swing with her teammate.
Because they had the opportunity for the crossfire, but not the perfect information to set it up.
But here we go now. It's a double duelist round with the 2 ults you want to see. This should be MIBR's way back in, and it's no surprise to see them set up for an A hit.
And yet, G2 have just put Petra on this side of the map, so easy to play some scouting, can try to fall away from this as well. A big win for MIBR would be to hold on to the showstopper for the post plants.
They will. That is very good for MIBR, but they don't have Heaven control. Petra has held on to this.
And G2 have 3 ults of their own. So ready to play this 5-on-5. Mimi.
I'll handle this.
Ready to scout this one out. Wall comes in. G2 have certainly arrived. And MIBR are playing with no space. All of them are backside this showstopper. Doesn't get a kill. SRN on the other side, though. And now playing on opposite ends of this wall. It's a mess on the site. It's Bedlam. And it's Amy to fall. MIBR take their first.
SRN gets her ult off and lives because she tucks into the corner of the defender Aster wall. The rocket landed just outside of where she went. She tucked in, lives, and helps to win that round in the end. That wasn't necessarily the one piece that won it. Instead, I think you have to give credit to the way that MIBR had held on to some of Bastarda's flashes to re-swing in as that retake came in. All in all, that's a very important round to win. Both teams used 2 of their biggest ultimates, and it's MIBR to take it.
G2 actually used 3 at the end of the day. So MIBR runs something similar here. No ultimate to give the easy sight, but instead creeping up to ramp. Mimi teleports away. And at the same time, look at mid. Akita all the way up here, and Sayuri's looking the wrong way. Paint shells are going to force her out. She gets away just barely.
And now this forces the Excel on A, so Petra under pressure.
Ooh. Steps away from the ledge. Sort of gives this sight, except for Mimi, that's a Spectre kill down. All the way from screens. Sayuri gonna clear away this space, realizes the teleport came in and she can play up here. Moonbot doesn't see her. And 2 players fighting up into screens. G2 pushing their way on in.
Last player standing.
Another one falls. G2 are just making it look simple on these retakes.
That is a real nice one for G2. Immediately break MIBR's momentum before they even get any. And you watch, this is how it starts. A Spectre kill?
And it's the spike too.
Yeah, at that range. And then just some great shooting from Akita to get back into screens. Hey.
I don't know if that would instill fear in me if I was sitting on the other side of the stage necessarily.
It put me into a trance. I was copying it.
Would make me maybe run through a Viper wall and die to a Spectre.
One of the keys to the ease of these retakes from G2 is that they've always held on to Heaven control. Petra is always anchoring there, even when it's a light A setup. And she's done a great job playing behind that defender Viper wall to always have that space so that G2 is splitting in 2 directions when they go for these retakes.
I mean, G2 have been playing it very nicely. I think that the responses throughout this series to whether it's the more aggro side execs MIBR have been throwing, whether it's G2 grouping together and playing retake, it's kind of all been guns blazing. And it's a weird series as well because the last time MIBR had a convincing half was quite literally the first half of the game on Bind.
Yes.
They ended up clutching up at the end, winning it, not letting that one slip away, but
I mean, there's a world where they don't win that last round and don't push it to overtime, and this is just a 2-0 for G2.
But that's why it's like, if they're starting to lose confidence, how do you then get it back? Because it does feel like G2 have been firmly in control for a long time now.
This eco round won't necessarily be the telling one. They're just going to try and rip it on B, see what can happen.
Nade in hand, C's not far behind it with Petra.
Again, a great read from G2, stacking 3 here.
Out of charges.
Get a little bit messy, because MIBR real close to this wall. Now swinging on in, the paint shells get a few. And MIBR have done some good work on this site.
That's guns that can be recovered, and that's a B site vacated thanks to the TP.
It's also a Nightfall if they want to use it, which they will. It's a Viper's Pit if they want to use it in the post plant.
Yeah, this is very hard actually for G2 to make this retake happen now.
The only thing G2 have to get back in is a clone and a snake bite. They don't have the utility. They are going to have to fight their way through.
It just comes to 50-50ing when you push the pit. And hoping you can find that Viper.
This round would be a breath of relief for MIBR. You can build off a round like this, off an eco win.
Portal closed.
Off a 2v3. Off 2 your strongest. Lisa will have to do it on her own. No one beside her. Lisa repositions, but cannot see it through.
Heartbreak for MIBR. They got 2 ultimates, they put them both into that round, and they lose it again. And the way it goes down, so close to making it happen. But again, G2 showing first off a great read of how to play this on the anti-eco. 3 players fighting into main. Even though MIBR trades favorably, when they get into this retake, it's the bait from Vanya, Mimi on the follow-up, and then this 3rd punch ready to go on the flank.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.
And Amy waves goodbye. And well, it's heartbreaking. It was the eco. And now you look to MIBR and ask, what do you have left?
Got to do something this round, but G2 have all their tricks to pull out on another swing round from MIBR. Viper's Pit pushing down into mid.
Even with the double dive, it is so impossible to get into that pit.
Well, right now MIBR are just kind of waiting to see if G2 are going to do something out of it. But it's paralyzed them a bit. 2 players out of B, 2 players out of A.
G2 might be doing something. Mimi postures up A main.
Has a teleport ready if she needs. Both Prowlers and a C's burned.
So that means you will never get into the pit 100% now.
Oh, this could be ugly.
So if they go back B, Vanya's here.
Which means that there's quick rotates through mid, whether it's Amy or players running into the pit. If Vanya just needs to stay alive. You don't even need a kill. So she sees a shoulder, calmly walks away. And set up a star to lock herself into backside.
That might make you think that Yoru's already here, but no, it's just Vanya.
The rotates are already coming in. Vanya bullied a bit now, but Amy has showed up. Amy is here for 2 more kills, and Saru's getting dragged around on the floor.
30 seconds left.
The rest of MIBR.
I think you save, it's over.
Oh.
Spike is down on B.
MIBR do not have an answer.
Not in the slightest.
And it wasn't like G2 created some chaos in the mid round.
No,
that was a Viper's Pit
that
off
was
the rip.
literally just a Viper's Pit off the rip, and I think the big problem of that is using 2 Prowlers to re-clear A main. So you have no tools to actually get information. Mimi just sits there the entire round without a problem in her sight. And it just feels like Sunset to me. G2 a step ahead in the defensive calling, winning out in every clutch. And MIBR seemingly losing confidence.
It's odd because MIBR felt to me, much domestically, preparing even the early games of the tournament, they seemed far more decisive than they have been playing in the last 2 rounds. This is a team that is a little skittish. They're kind of waiting for G2 to do something and then see how they can react. But when G2 doesn't do anything, MIBR they seem a little lost.
Fizzle out.
Yeah. So, okay, maybe an earlier mid-fight could be something, see some control on the map, but...
By the way, I don't think they've ever had mid control this game.
No, and it's hard when there's that orb going down.
Nor have they really had a main control in the rounds where they don't just exec A. Here's Mimi.
Mimi overstepping just a little bit into the stinger.
So that's a gift. What can they make of it?
Oh, and they're pushing up behind it. Okay, MIBR. Don't waste any time. Go off that pit. Keep on coming. Amy is waiting down inside of the vent. Now Petra stepping forward onto ramp. Those shots finally come in. And she could play spoiler for MIBR. Another low buy round for them. Another one they could easily win.
But these are two players that have been scary in the clutch. If Petra even gets one, I do not want to play a round like this against Vanya.
If Petra holds this site, this game could just be over. But she falls away instead.
There.
MIBR have struggled to close out rounds like this. It's a 3-on-2. It's a post fight with good positioning. They have to win this round.
G2 are taking their sweet time. And I think they realize they don't really have that much of the clock to deal with ramps. They're going to try and just fall out from heaven. Some utility on the left and right side. Sayuri goes to break it, and MIBR will be able to hold this one down and take a light buy round.
A little bit of pressure into mid, baits Mimi into a fight. MIBR shut her down, and that round show us something decisive. Get their pick. They're fast dropping into vents, fast splitting into this A site. And that's that opener I'm talking about.
And to be fair, this is a round where, like MIBR, who have been playing a little bit slower, finally G2 overstep. Mimi falls down. They can play behind that a lot more quickly.
The thing is, I think, having seen that round, G2 are not going to give those kind of opportunities again. Instead, they bunker mid with 3 in this one.
Growler fizzles away. Amy steps in. Double flash through from MIBR and a clone, and they're not going
I think one of those was Mimi's flash.
Okay.
And there's the second from Mimi as well.
That was a lot spent for both teams to just abandon mid entirely.
G2 hold it for now, as MIBR walk back towards B main.
Yeah, G2 also want to step up in A main.
The critical piece this time is that Lisa is keeping at least some pressure A that G2 haven't managed to rotate yet.
I'll get him. Fire in the hole!
Showstopper. SRN coming into the site, guns blazing, no kills yet, but finally it follows on through. MIBR have showed up, but G2 quickly answering in turn. Mimi around the side, Mimi for 2, and now the dimensional drift. For the 2-on-2, there's a lurk coming in through heaven though.
Petra considers it.
Anything. Oh no, Petra turns away at the wrong time. One of the oldest duos in Game Changers in Valorant, Petra and Mimi. Now,
30 seconds left.
up 2-on-1 versus Lisa. Lisa has to cross to grab the spike. Cross this high-low out in the open. She can't do anything.
Who else but them? Mimi and Petra. To secure another round for G2. And to secure a real heartbreaker. This was a 4-on-3 in a post fight on B. And it's these kills from Mimi. Fighting back in practically alone for 2. And then she and Petra play that so well, group up together, isolate the fights against MIBR. And if you weren't confident before, if you were having a bad map before, losing a clutch like that, just another nail in the coffin.
It's starting to look dire. It's time to pull out everything MIBR have left. 2 more rounds in this half to try and bring it back a little bit closer when their whole year is riding in the balance of this one map.
It was this matchup that was elation for MIBR in Berlin. 3-0'd this team. Went into a grand final in the first international they ever attended. But G2 might be about to break that streak after getting eliminated by Brazil twice in a row.
At least the MIBR fan club doesn't seem too perturbed, too worried about it.
To be fair, if MIBR can get 2 rounds, they give themselves some hope.
Sure.
But it has to start here.
Okay, so what are we looking at? Bestarda has a dimensional drift to work on. MIBR playing relatively spread right now. Wait, Bestarda is just posting up and taking the fight. Doesn't even care. But they could have lost the ult there.
Akita has a showstopper.
Oh, showing that fight to then quickly pivot to the teleport on B. Vanya has been virtually unbreakable. And Amy too. always having a chance to come out from heaven. Bastarda vacates the site.
They might be calling back into A. They still have 2 lurk players there. SRN is faking with the satchel, but G2 have re-cleared this. Look, they have 3 on A.
And Sayuri has the ultimate to reposition with the spike. Lisa gets the opening pick. But there's a showstopper in turn, and that seize is major. Sayuri on site with this spike, has to stay alive, and she can't do it. It's now a 2-on-3, but really it's a 1-on-3. Bastarda now being patrolled by a boombot.
Player standing.
And look down on by Vanya. So attention turns to SRN. No question, the superstar for MIBR. Stepping forward, SRN!
30 seconds left. I have the spike.
There is just no way.
Toxins going up.
20 seconds, it's now or never. SRN sees that last player.
2 bullets.
Paint shells down to secure the plant.
Spike planted. Toxins go.
SRN, you have to win this round. There is no alternative for MIBR. There is no other way but these 2 players dancing around one another. SRN switches to the Phantom. Smells blood in the water. SRN baits it out. SRN can't do it! Again, it's stolen away.
Amy denies the clutch. It denies the chances for MIBR to build anything more from this half.
MIBR have had close rounds, but they have never been able to finish them. Even here in the 1-on-3, these shots are gorgeous.
But in the moment where it matters,
Bye-bye!
it's G2 standing up confident instead. And now 9-3, the best on the cards for the Brazilians.
SRN back into it again. Opens up this round. MIBR not playing the macro game this time. No, it's just trying to bully into this A side. G2 ready to fire back on ramp. Oh, we're going up high. Akita getting wild with it. And Sayuri is teleported up into heaven. Sayuri goes down. Vanya was ready for it.
Looking the wrong direction. And now only 2 players on this side. G2, they have a great setup for the retake, already spotting onto SRN.
Last round was a 2-on-3. MIBR couldn't do it. It was a 1-on-3 as well. G2 are running away with this series.
Every close round, G2 are so focused, so controlled in the way that they're playing. These 2vx, these 3vx scenarios, they are dominating 10-2 in this half. We'll head to the second after this.
At the half, 10-2. You can go ahead and check out the Coinbase Econ report and see how devastating that first half has been, and especially devastating considering what's on the line for MIBR. Coming in for the first time into the GCC, we had a second seed out of Brazil for so long. Hype around these Brazilian teams having such talent at the top, TL and MIBR. Always thinking they could push in the second seed even, in the top 4 into the top 3. They're back-to-back finals. MIBR now at risk of going out early in this tournament.
And it's G2 the ones to do it. After getting eliminated by Brazil twice in a row, now dominating here on map number 3. They have won practically 4 halves in a row.
Yep.
They should have won the second half of Bind. And nearly lost out in overtime.
Exactly.
They decimated both halves of Sunset. Dominated the start of Split. But now this entire series gets really defined by one half of play.
And really, for me, there's only one question left to ask G2. Playing such good Valorant all day long. Can you close? Can you close G2? It was a problem back on Bind. It was a problem last night on Split. This time, though, they have done so much work. 10-2 at the half. The job should be simple.
For MIBR, all their hopes lie on this pistol.
Wow.
G2 fast into mid.
Whoa, Akita boosting up. While Petra found to pick onto the Vents player.
There was never too much behind that. Instead, G2 have been working up towards A, and this site is very light now. Just SRN jiggling.
SRN does have a Sheriff. We know that can be deadly. Swinging out into the open. Big damage down. Bastarda actually dropping.
And G2 set up to fight deep into screens in this post plant.
Ooh, this wrap from Lisa blocked away by the dark cover. So G2 come back into the site, just leave Petra. Toying with screens.
Grenade!
MIBR, diligent, clearing out these positions, but the fight in heaven will be major. Sayuri takes that one, and now can look back down into the site. Good connections out of MIBR. Sayuri for another, and now Vanya ratting it out inside of the smoke. Sayuri will take 3 and this pistol.
Map number 1, when it was almost slipping away, it was Sayuri to step up with a massive clutch. The IGL of this team does it again here on their pistol. So something, a chance to maybe build a half out of Split to show what they have on defense.
Petra lined up that shot through the minimap. But Sayuri really taking out Petra.
It was going so wrong, but sort of dies on the TP. They don't have any space, but single-handedly dealing with 3 different players on this retake. Sayuri keeps the hope alive for the Brazilian fans here.
You can see how G2 ran away with the first 4 rounds of this game. MIBR need to channel some of that here. Clean round 2. Play into a strong bonus after this.
We've seen too many eco rounds today. Some of them won by G2. They've been potent here. So there's always a threat.
Akita's really just waiting for a jump peek or a jiggle out of the male player. That's a late wall to go down on B.
Makes you think that there's more behind Amy.
Yeah, well, Amy jumping and seeing a high-low. She doesn't want to contest that. Good connection out from Lisa. Repositioning quickly. We'll add another to the kill count.
There.
Oh, we're just getting a paint shell kill. And a little more on top of that one. All right, I would say that's clean from MIBR.
Certainly so. They only lose Lisa. Let's contrast these teams. If MIBR's win condition on attack was their fast executes with the double duelist and getting the Bastarda and SRN active, despite playing almost the same comp, it is so different for G2. They play some of the slowest rounds you will watch. And oftentimes, Mimi, like she did on Sunset, is making these very late pivots into sight, sometimes without even a lurk to call back into. She loves playing with the mind, figuring out on the map in her head where MIBR is rotated to, and taking the risk on her read late round.
So it's important for MIBR not to over-rotate, to hold on to their site.
And it's important for their site anchors to be having a good game.
True. Well, Sayuri started off in a good way, but there are prowlers to force her back. And the rotation was a little slow from Bastarda to clear that prowler. G2 force on in, jumping through this with a flash and a stun to boot.
Time to jump.
But these are those rounds Another team they might have excelled in to be not G2.
But if Amy dies on this lurk, problems are abound for G2.
The thing is, I think she has a pretty good timing.
Yeah, Melissa spots her, but will fall regardless. SRN out from heaven. Sees the Hunt coming out. Now peeking through the smoke. That's a great timing out of SRN. And now with Bastarda teleporting into the site as well. MIBR starting to swarm just a little bit. Bastarda needs a couple here. Her teammate has a judge. Bastarda needs to do it all her own. That spike is stranded out in the middle of nowhere. 20 seconds left on the clock. A snake bite pushes them back to Bastarda. She's looking for it, sees them both. Bastarda has done enough, but it's not in the end.
Akita instead steals it back in a 1-on-2.
How many times today have MIBR had someone clutch up, get it down to 1-on-1, only for G2 to win anyways?
G2 does not care about your heroes. They don't care about SRN. Such prowess from Akita.
G2 have been loud today, no doubt about that.
Despite winning the round though, G2 are broke. And Akita off a hot round already dead.
Hey, I really like that setup. After the double dive comes into the ramps, flash through the wall from Bastarda. Sayuri ready for this lurk as well.
So they can't win the bonus, but they can stomp the next one. Over in a flash for MIBR. That play you're talking about is really cool. Expecting the ramps dive, there's a flash at the same time that SRN is fighting forward, and it cooks them.
So MIBR, while they are aware that G2 have been playing slower rounds typically on split, I've now seen some quicker options from G2. Maybe trying to not make it so predictable.
Well, despite playing very slow, they always play 4-1. So you can oftentimes find this lurker and really shoo them away, which I like from MIBR again.
MIBR just sprinted up 3 players into A main, leave 1 on the forward line, but G2 don't accelerate. And this is typical of Mimi's calling.
Certainly so. Amy's gonna retest this. Walks back up towards A main.
Wall up. Oh, sees SRN, and now she's
But that pulls out Bastarda Steepy. So now it's 3 heavy towards A, and that might open G2 to call back into a B split.
Oh, Nightfall out. Lisa trying to dodge from that one. Still gets decayed. The G2 waiting behind this orb. That's a really deep orb.
There.
They've slowed G2 down. Lisa on a gnarly angle. Here's the fall. Takes one down, takes another. Oh, Sayuri back on site. If she can bunker down, it could have been enough.
30 seconds.
Now it's a 3-on-3.
Yeah, straight up retake. G2 used the Astro Wall to secure the spike.
Oh, but
Bastarda!
whoa, 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 what is going on? So quick into the site. That is a monster play from Bastarda.
Her team wasn't really even set up to fight with her.
No, she also had a dimensional drift. She could have used that on the play. No.
That's the kind of play, if she dies there, we're saying that she threw them that round. Instead, Bastarda the monster wins it alone. Look at that. Here's a drop, just takes her timing out.
There was more thought put into that. Melissa threw out a seize as well, trying to catch those 2 players.
Even still, it's such a high-risk play. No one else, like Melissa couldn't really swing through the Cosmic Divide.
Oh, no,
the spacing wasn't good with SRN, but they just trusted Bastarda to make the play.
Wow.
G2 are slamming the panic button after that one.
A little bit. Think about it too. Had MIBR won that bonus, we're sitting 10-8 now. G2 still have a little bit of extra cushion because of the good work done on that round.
10-7, good math.
Huh?
Sorry.
Okay, I can't do math, whatever.
It's okay.
Don't worry about it.
But let's look ahead to this round. It's going to be an eco for G2. MIBR is starting to work up their ult economy. And what has this success really been? To me, I think it's the way that they've been very proactive in flushing lurkers early. Mimi calls slow rounds, but she's rarely calling like a 1-3-1. It's almost always lurker somewhere, rest the team doing something somewhere else, and then they either commit or call back in late. She doesn't really leave multiple embeds in the way that a lot of other teams do. So playing these kind of aggressive mid-rounds to flush, I think is a great read into that style. This round, though, it looks like it might be just a bit quicker for G2 on their eco.
And MIBR setting up a trap play over in B main. Just leaving
My ult's ready.
Bastarda's Outlaw. Does mean that the Showstopper now online for SRN, if it's necessary on the anti-eco. The hope is Bastarda get a couple of kills here, and all of a sudden you don't need to waste any ults. That's one. And a flash. Bastarda is playing so aggressively. Wow! What a difference out of this player. Farming up on these ecos. Now getting right inside of the site. Take an ace, why not? Oh, the switch over, and the ace for Bastarda.
That's a way to reinvigorate you. A beautiful 3K round into a Bastarda ace.
It is worth saying that Bastarda was the sole light for Sunset, for MIBR. That was on the Cypher where you can't really take matters into your own hands, but in the second half on the Yoru, she is not waiting for her team.
So now this is the look at what G2 discussed in that timeout. The start of round looks similar. 4 towards B with MIBR set up to refight that space.
Showstopper coming on through, SRN. Doesn't find the connection, but still playing inside of the smoke. That is risky, especially with the Prowler spotting her.
But it's a quick excel up mid from G2. That'll shoo Lisa away down vent.
Lisa's not leaving. Sticking around, down on the bottom of ropes now. Trying to escape, that's a good shot. Can now fall back, gets the player on ramp too. Hello, Lisa.
And she says no to A. G2 have to look elsewhere, so they call back towards B, but this is where there's been players posted in main.
Yeah, playing this without B main control means you kind of need to plant for backside. Means there's always going to be an extra player swinging from this very angle.
Sayori will get the info early. Oh, or just get ahead.
Nicely done. It had been a while since we saw some life for MIBR.
I love this, too. They're pushing through instead of choosing to stay there. Might even get their fight bottom mid.
30 seconds left.
How does the timing work?
Oh, no. Don't give Vanya an opportunity.
Well, no, they just saw these 2 players towards B. They know that B is open, so it's a foot race into the site.
Lisa's here early. Gonna use the pit. That causes some problems, and Lisa's flooding out with it, too. 10 seconds left. Lisa has to stay alive. Lisa sees the planter. And Lisa, from start to finish this round, has been an absolute terror. MIBR will take 8.
The only rookie player out of all of our Brazilian teams, at least as far as GCC goes. She's waited so long for this opportunity. She's playing for years with Loud, who was oftentimes the 3rd place team behind MIBR, behind Liquid. And that was when Brazil only had 1 slot. It's this opportunity. When MIBR refresh, they drop Jubes.
There.
And living up to it.
C's primed for Melissa. G2 with a whole lot of nothing on this round. Unless they can get some picks and dip into their ults. MIBR taking some mid space right now. Crunching into G2. MIBR will give up Heaven. They know they have SRN playing on site. Just a little push and pull between the 2 duelists. And look at Sewers. We got to look at Sewers right now.
Oh, MIBR, are they looking the right way?
They're worried about the lurk coming in through market. At the same time, Vanya's going into star form, but Vanya's still getting the shots down. Low HP from Sayuri. Players rotating in through spawn, and Vanya has pulled so much attention.
But MIBR are reading into this being a B hit. Is it, though? Because look at the lurks that G2 have embedded. They can easily call back towards A.
With the spike, no less. Switching that over into Mimi's hands.
Oh, what a fake. But there's going to be a player ready to jiggle ahead of this.
It doesn't really matter, though. No one can rotate over to SRN quickly enough.
Unless they take their time.
Oh.
Still not hitting A.
It's starting to matter. Satchel's in and a showstopper in a 5-on-5.
Left.
G2 want to win this round, but it's not good. Oh my God!
Spike planted.
Akita is unreal. 3 kills on a showstopper instantly. G2 in command. Sayuri is low.
Toxins going up.
Lisa needs to step up again and will not be afforded the opportunity. Akita has just done God's work to bring G2 on a series point.
She only saw 1 player in spawn. Is hoping for 1 kill, but somehow, someway, gets gifted with 3. You can see the little jump. She was surprised by it. And that means the world to G2.
That was an unwinnable round. That cannot be happening. Now 2 rounds stolen away by G2. The 2 rounds they've won. MIBR had plenty of chances. Now shot goes wide from Bastarda. Nerve spotted. MIBR must take 4 in a row.
Such a brutal task. SRN dead to Mimi.
And now without your star, where do they go from here? Mimi on a scouting mission. Reveals the operator. The rest of G2 coming into A. And Mimi is going to see Melissa. Melissa's not looking in the right direction, but it'll be a teleport away. G2 grouping up. And an early nightfall. Finds a couple. The fight is heading into ramp. They know exactly where Lisa is. And the shot finds true from Bastarda. G2 don't really know where to go from here. Are they going to go back into spawn?
They're going spawn.
This is ridiculous. A smoke to try and guide their path up, but Sayuri is waiting. 30 HP of paranoia. And now trying to reposition quickly. Get out of there, Sayuri. Now into backside. Nowhere else to go. It is her Alamo. Bastarda trying to cause some chaos on the other side.
G2 are surrounded in this pit.
Sayuri, 20 seconds, 20 seconds! Will not find it. Who can be the hero? Who can keep MIBR in this tournament? Brazil's second for the first time ever. Stepping into a GCC, Bastarda will open the pathway.
Here.
Still a monumental task for MIBR. Amy's waiting for it. Bastarda has 3. Could Bastarda ace to win this? Could MIBR stay alive? Holding the line. They have to get back onto the spike. Petra knows it. And Bastarda keeps them in it.
The second time this half that she has been the salvation. An impossible round. Yet again that G2 almost win. Down 3v5, they pivot through spawn into a pit. But Bastarda delivers.
She stepped into this roster midway through the year. Dropped from the #1 team in Brazil.
Off of winning a regional tournament.
Madness.
Liquid didn't think she fit. Didn't think she was the right player. And MIBR believed.
They didn't waste any time. As soon as they have the opening, Bastarda slots in. And now when their year is dependent on it, they are asking her to carry them through.
G2 again, reset to an eco round. You can see the pressure for all these players. You don't get multiple chances to play international in GC.
Nope.
1 opportunity a year. MIBR has only had that chance once before. G2, they've had their moments. They've had attendance at every GCC. They've only won it once. Only made it to the finals in the very first year.
We have more players on this stage that have been in a Game Changers Championship final than haven't. And yet, half of these players are going home after the result of this map. G2's economy has been broken. Hasn't necessarily been a problem before.
Yet Akita has a hero gun. And these eco rounds have been problems before.
That nade onto Sayuri. Tries to come up against the wall and stay alive. And fires back straight at G2.
Very tempered opening from G2. This is standard. They play their 4-1, they take one main, and see what they can find.
Big thing for me is Akita does not have satchels. Couldn't afford to go for that. Valuing the heavy armor and the Vandal.
Nor does Mimi have a TP. There's no real way to excel into B.
So you just gotta play fundamentals. Play good spacing, play for your trades. Swing together. Sayuri hears that, drops down another cover. The rest of MIBR coming into the site. Bastarda has arrived, and there's a pocket to play on. Bastarda again opens it up. Sayuri behind it.
Spike down.
MIBR, stay calm. 2 more rounds.
The rounds that G2 have been calling, the rounds they've been winning, have been frankly ridiculous. It is slow at the start. It has really come down to very last second pivots. Like, this has been a game defined by the final seconds. Is that how G2 want to
Vamos, vamos, vamos.
continue to play, or do they pick up the pace? Do they accelerate something different here? No team really has ults to play with this round.
I asked it at the start of the half. I'll ask it again. G2, can you close on split?
Where are you?
Quick into this A site, out from heaven. Akita was waiting for it. The flash is in, and G2 are running them over. No duelists, no stars. It is Sayuri and Lisa.
Face your fear!
And they're severed. Lisa trying to be a hero.
Well, here she comes. It's all even again. G2 fans silenced. A year hanging in the balance. The paranoia is perfect. Lisa once more, and Sayuri will get it again. Vanya on the other side has this pull, but it sucked to happen.
The pull is bad!
It's bad! And Vanya isn't playing for it! G2 can't close! They can't win that round! They can't even stay alive!
That is a year-ending mistake.
And on Vanya, of all players.
She has been perfect this series.
And of course it's not gonna be the gunplay where she falters. She's too perfect when it comes to that. But an inch on that star has cost G2 their chance.
True heartbreak for G2, but we're already into the next round. This game is defined by one last chance for G2 to close in regulation. One last chance for MIBR to keep their year alive.
We were asking for heroes from MIBR. Now we need a hero from G2. Those ugly thoughts in the back of their minds coming up again. What happened less than 24 hours ago? What happened on Bind?
And look at the money. Half armor on 5. Bastarda's bought an outlaw.
Mimi is calling them to just reset and 5 exec A. Bastarda has the outlaw on screens.
Portal closed.
Melissa waiting backside. We're gonna be down to the wire again. Bastarda and Melissa sees the pathing. Melissa is down. But Bastarda wastes no time getting back into the site. Bastarda is lethal. I mean, look at her!
But it's a 2-on-2. Amy's worked up towards heaven. The plant to come down from Petra.
Amy's position is so good, but there's so little time. If the spike dies, SRN and Sayuri can just get in here. The spike plant is canceled. Petra's trying to run as Amy falls down. Petra is in a 1-on-2. There is no time. She must plant. We are going to overtime.
The second night in a row. The G2 gets sent to overtime on Split by Brazil.
It was 10-2 at this half. MIBR stood absolutely no chance. But through the heroics of Bastarda, watch it and appreciate the brilliance.
How many rounds has she been the solution
So many. 28 kills.
Nice, man.
Wearing a different jersey than the last time she played at GCC.
And now G2. The hands start shaking. You are in overtime again. There is no more do or die. You thought you had already won this series. You could be in the upper final already if you had won in this exact same position 24 hours ago. MIBR wastes no time. A wall into the site. The started charges forward. And Sayuri up on the ledge from heaven inside of her smoke, playing off the seas. Dancing around as MIBR secure the plant.
How did G2 get back in? They'll refight towards main, but that means challenging Lisa.
Lisa waiting inside the smoke, through it! Vanya on the other side, though, has tried to equalize. G2. It's time to lock in. It's time to show up. This was your half. Oh no! What has SRN done to them? What have MIBR done to G2? Where have they gone? It is match and series point.
You are witnessing a team disintegrate at the hands of MIBR. You thought it wouldn't be their year. For G2 losing regionally, dropping Petra, picking her back up into the main roster. But then you saw the hope. Winning in stage 3, coming in as one of the favorites to GCC again. But now 2 nights in a row with opportunities abound to beat some of the best teams at this event. And it's just stolen away.
Unbelievable. G2 could have erased that bad history at the start of the year with just good placement in this tournament. And now that could not even be a possibility anymore.
And now you look to the veterans, Mimi and Petra. More years of experience between them than their rookie Akita has been alive.
And to make matters even worse for G2, MIBR just won a round on attack. That was the side they only won 2 rounds on in regulation. G2 only won 2 of their own. Now they are asked to do what seemed impossible. Piece together a round. The only 2 rounds they won, they carved out from losing positions.
But against a team who is so confident, who has just made every impossible scenario possible, and who is 1 round away from eliminating G2 for the 2nd year in a row.
And G2 choose to play both sides of the map. Spike hovering in spawn, 2 in B main, 2 up ramp. G2 have been playing these slow rounds.
And look at this position from SRN. No one has ever played this box in this game.
But Prowler can always clear it, unless there's someone to break it for MIBR. Sayuri's not really in the right position to do so. If G2 contact out, it could be year over. It could just end everything. Right now, they're contacting into SRN. You just can't do that.
Spike down, B.
It's falling to pieces as Amy drops on the other side and Lisa's come all the way through mid. MIBR deliver a fatal blow to G2's year and stay alive with the best comeback we've seen this event.
It's a 3rd year in a row that G2 have been sent packing by a Brazilian squad. But this time it felt different. An impossible comeback on Split. On Bind is